exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
It's the most time-honored tradition to start the weekend, grabbing a cold one from a local Nebraska brewery. Let's be real here. It's hot outside, and you don't want to drink the same boring beer as those Hawkeye fans. Drink icy cold, Nebraska-brewed beers, cider, or seltzers instead. Each week, we're putting the spotlight on a unique Nebraska brewery with One Beer Friday. Share your brew on social media with the hashtag One Beer Friday, and you'll be entered to win a $25 gift card to a local Nebraska brewery. Nebraska is the good life with great beer. Click nebraska.beer to learn more.
Hi, this is Kathy Knoyer with Knoyer Garden Center. The beauty of fall is in our greenhouses, featuring a variety of Knoyer-grown fall product that will allow you to create a gorgeous fall container or arrangement. Come join us for our fall open house September 2nd and 3rd and enjoy snacks and refreshments. Whether it's home decor, fall annuals, perennials, or shrubs, we will help you beautify your home. Located between Highway 370 and Cornhusker on 66th Street in Papillion.
At Knoyer Garden Center, everybody's got a green thumb.
Open daily, 10 to 6.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction. Presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by J. Sennett Contracting, Tinman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, and Rotella's Italian Bakery. Immediately after the game, join the show and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction with McKeg and 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh and John here for the FanDuel Sportsbook. Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Go to FanDuel.com/1620 and kick off the NFL season with offers you don't want to miss.
21 plus and present in Iowa. First online, real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF. NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends 9/18/23. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use extended. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Coogler Vision. Let us talk about the 3 most surprising things about modern LASIK at Coogler Vision. The first, how fast that LASIK procedure is. With Coogler Vision's leading-edge technology, we're talking just a few minutes per eye. Incredibly speedy. And how about this for number 2? How comfortable the procedure is. So often from their patients, they hear, wait, that's it? It's over? They make sure that you are relaxed and comfortable, as well as knowing exactly what is happening. And this for number 3, how quickly you can get back to normal life. Patients typically drive themselves to Coogler Vision the very next day for their follow-up visit. So you're back in action less than 24 hours later. Coogler Vision right now, they have special pre-summer savings on modern LASIK or any of their other advanced vision correction procedures. If you've ever thought about fixing your bad vision, the Coogler Vision Eye Analysis is your first step. Do so today. Schedule one online at CooglerVision.com.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
1620 The Zone.
We're playing Minnesota. I have the utmost respect for PJ Fleck. He's a friend of mine. I love the way he runs his program. It's different than me, but I love the fact that I'm in Texas. I can walk into a high school and I see like Hyper and Ski Uman row the boat on a wall, and I'm like, oh, PJ was here, huh? Like, but that's it. He believes in that, and it's what I love about them. It's why they've done what they've done over 7 years, and the way they play the game is the way I like to play the game. They run the ball, they play defense, they execute on third downs, and so we understand, like, for us to go play in that game on the road, the first game for us as an entity together, we have to have gone through a really hard training camp, and we have to have taken our confidence from that. I think Mickey did a great job. I think, they haven't won, right? Like, when you haven't won, you start being like, man, are we ever going to win? And what we've asked our guys to do is to take ownership of that. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is like one of the most resilient groups of young people I've ever been around. Like, I really feel like it's my obligation to watch. I remember Garrett Nelson sitting in my office, and Garrett Nelson needed to go to the NFL. Like, he was getting older. While I would love to have coached him, I was like, bro, it's your time. Like, go make it happen. But I remember Garrett, and I hope he's okay with sharing this, talking about like his father's legacy here and like how he wanted to be part of the group that turned it around. And I remember visiting with Nick and Luke, and they're trying to figure out, should we transfer? Should we stick around? Like, Coach Rule, your MO is to kind of not be very good early and play the young guys. So, but their care for the program was so strong that I feel a tremendous obligation. Like, man, we have to find a way to help these guys win. I don't know that they're beaten down as much as I would say just sort of like they want this so badly and they haven't been able to, and they're kind of looking everywhere. And I think we've just tried to be very focused about, hey, let's focus on these things. So I feel like we're in a good place right now.
Live from 50th and Capitol Avenue in the Big O. This is Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and 1620 The Zone TV. Now here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy.
Hey, guys. Great to see you.
Good morning. You guys know what time it is. You guys know what time it is. Let's go.
There we go. All right. It's Tuesday. That really Gil, I got on that one too.
Yeah, that was hashtag fail. That was 3.
It's Tuesday.
That was 3 and out. You're gonna.
I'm gonna sound a lot like Batman today. Okay.
Yeah, this is game week. I just told you when I came in here, and whatever cigarettes you're smoking, you need to stop because it's game week. You need to be 100% healthy. What do you think? You're a linebacker at Nebraska that's dinged up?
Play through it.
Oh, I don't know. You don't know.
I didn't say a word on the drive home last night. Like, wife took care of the kid, everything. I just sat there and drove and did not talk. And I had an excuse not to.
Well, that's good.
To restore everything.
That's good. Your wife is in it for team.
She was.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley on game week.
Yep. She had tea waiting for me this morning. Tea.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's very kind.
Yes.
Your wife is a wonderful person.
She knows how important this week is.
What did she do for Jimmy and myself?
Well, you guys sounded great yesterday. She wasn't worried.
Well, we got no tea.
She wasn't
Jimmy,
worried.
Did you get any tea?
I got no tea.
I got no tea. I got no tea. What is that you're drinking?
This is a LaCroix.
Yeah, I thought it was a beer at first. I was like, let's go.
I was like, yeah, you are ready for
you said power through this.
Volleyball day in Nebraska.
I'm powering through this,
you missed
baby.
Friday.
I am powering through this.
All right. I have a new vice. I don't know. Maybe it's not a vice. I have something new I'm on to.
Uh-oh.
Get me ready for this week. So I like to listen to music coming into the show.
I've noticed that.
I think I am vibing with Lil Durk. You know, he did a song with Morgan Wallen, but now he's got a popular song that's played by every station. It seems to be played at the same time on every music station I listen to in this town, outside of our own Sweet 98, is the All My Life. That's a really good song.
That makes me think of Casey and JoJo.
Lil Durk is my guy today. I may listen to a lot of Lil Durk.
I'm starting to tag. You're a Morgan Wallen fan, aren't you?
I mean, how can you avoid him?
Yeah.
I mean, every song that is played on the radio is Morgan Wallen or Luke Combs. Or
this is true.
They'll mix in a little Taylor Swift.
It's like the Kane Hackman theory.
Well, and the thing, like, there must be a couple of radio stations, the music stations in this town, that are sharing the same, like, song program.
Yeah.
Because I have run into this where the same song is playing on 2 different stations at the same time. Now, you get, like, commercials once in a while. I get that. But, like, songs?
Well, you get a lot of overlapping, too. Like, I just heard that song. So you go to the next station. Oh, it just started. And then the next one's just ending. That happens. That's when you know you have a banger, though.
Welcome in, everybody. Would you consider Morgan Wallen a banger? Talk about a guy that's come out the back end.
Yeah.
Well, he was about to be canceled.
Yeah,
Now all of a sudden
yeah.
he's popping some hits. He's like the comeback player of 2023.
It's like you just keep cranking him out. They'll just forget.
Yeah, I mean, he was
Plus the other thing.
Hey, that guy was canceled, and now he plays. So they had to reschedule because he did a nick and lost his voice earlier in his concert tour. He is playing at Pinnacle Bank Arena on the night of the Colorado game.
Yep.
Like there will be
It works out.
I wouldn't be surprised if Nebraska beats Colorado. Maybe Rules shows up there.
True.
He'll
They'll be
be
back.
back.
They'll be
time.
back by then.
Like,
yeah.
Hell yeah. Was Harry grown back too?
Unless they
Morgan Wallen's.
have to, if they lose, then they have to bus back. Part of the deal.
Oh, I like that.
Huh.
Accountability.
Imagine. Hey, I was once on one of those trips back from Manhattan on a team bus.
Oh,
That is not fun, especially when there's snow on the ground and people right there are, you would make the turn. I think it was in.
Oh, that was after a loss.
that was
with the
2000.
snow. Yeah.
Yeah. That was like,
It was cold.
Frank, what are you doing? What are you doing? Dan Alexander.
Killing him.
He's giving the football. Okay. It's now the start of the fourth quarter and it is starting to blizzard in Manhattan. Why are we throwing the football? Just run Dan Alexander. They can't stop him.
They'll never see it coming.
We got to throw the football.
And take Quincy Morgan out of the game.
But yeah, coming back and there was and you were sitting ducks because at that time of night when you have like 6 charter buses and there's no police escort and you're weaving your way back through the back roads of Manhattan, Kansas, all the way up to, Beatrice and into Nebraska and all that kind of stuff. You're a sitting duck. So there's a turn, and I remember all the trips to Manhattan from Lincoln vividly. There's a place, is it Marysville?
Yes.
Where there's train tracks that go through the middle of the town.
Yeah.
But there's a stop sign, and you got to take a right when you're headed back to Lincoln. And so right there on the corner, there was an open lot, and it was a barrage of K-State fans that were just pelting the Nebraska team buses.
Oh, that's nice on a Saturday night.
Yeah. So it'll kind of be like when Omaha pulls into Memorial Stadium tomorrow for volleyball day in Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
The Nebraska volleyball fans will be outside of the stadium
Throwing eggs.
No, they'll be like lobbing up those volleyballs, those they throw into the crowd, and just slamming them at the bus. They'll be rocking the bus.
I think they're rolling into the
lot of kabooms.
We are a day closer, so this kind of depends on what your priority is. It's the best Nebraska doubleheader since the double dip against Rice in the Super Regional at Buck Belcher to go to the College World Series. You either got volleyball day in Nebraska coming up on tomorrow, which includes Nebraska, Omaha, and UNK and Wayne State. It's a great thing. It is making Nebraska athletics cool. It is. The pictures are cool. The chatter about it is cool. The whole damn event's going to be really, really cool. I mean, this is unprecedented.
It's going to make big-time headlines.
And you know what? Step off Wisconsin or anybody else that's thinking, hey, we could do the same thing. You can't do the same thing.
Not like that.
Okay? It's not. You're not going to be able to touch it. And the visual that is coming out of Lincoln with the floor now elevated, the TerraFlex is in, and some of the social media stuff they're doing. The carpet is down for the tunnel walk, and it's going to be really, really cool.
We were teased about yesterday.
Yeah, so it's that event is making Nebraska athletics cool for a sport that has been cool in this state for a long time. So you're either the countdown to that, or you're just like, I don't really, it's Nebraska, so I'll root for them. Then you're on to Thursday, which we are a step closer. And Matt Rule will speak after practice today, the last time he speaks before he coaches his first game at Nebraska. So it is here. It is another step closer to game week, and we're glad to have you in on Mornings with Sharp and Handley and Jimmy as well.
I'm excited. Boys, it's fine. This is Thursday. I love Thursday football when it comes to week 1 anyway. I've said it many times. Having Nebraska be involved in that now too, it ups it.
You know what is good? So I'm okay with the first 2 games on the road. I think it's unique. You never want to do that like on a regular basis. But I think for this team to get away from Memorial Stadium when you're all new and you're trying to go through adversity and see how people react when things aren't going so well, I think it's ideal. Now, I don't think it's ideal in the current situation to have Minnesota as your first game. I'll get into that a little bit later. Right? That's a tough first game for a brand new head coach in this league with brand new coordinators in this league and a lot of moving pieces. But I like the first 2 road games. But to your point, Nick, not all enamored with Thursday night football if it involves your team, but I will look at it this way. I'm going to enjoy the heck out of my weekend. because you don't have to worry about the team you cover or you follow or you cheer for playing, and you just focus on the football that's on TV. Like you have your schedule set up for LSU, Florida State, the Carolinas against each other, which I think that game's going to get sideways. That could be just a wild game. I do, to open up the year on a Thursday and then have your weekend free. I kind of like it.
And a long weekend. I just realized we're not here Monday.
Oh, no, Jimmy, except for you.
Except for me.
You did not see the schedule? I think you're doing a special 9 to noon show.
Oh, okay.
The overreaction.
Yeah. It's the post-severe reaction.
83 and partly sunny for first serve. The wind's going to be a little bit of an issue. As they'll have to adjust to that at Volleyball Day in Nebraska. Thank you, Rusty Lord. Okay, so last night, if you're waking up this morning and you're waking up with us, thank you. Many have throughout our lifetime of the show, that is.
Congratulations on the life.
We had a bizarre situation at Coors Field last night in what they call Lodo.
Yeah.
Wait, talk about a franchise that has just fallen off the map, the Colorado Rockies. They play in a beautiful stadium.
Their record is awful.
But they're just...
Third worst in baseball.
When was the last time you mentioned Rocktober? That was kind of fun.
It was.
People forget that the Rockies were in the World Series.
I was at Game 3. Yeah. It was awesome.
14 years ago was the last time they did Rocktober.
But they've got a couple of issues. One, they got some bad ownership. They've had some bad decisions. They used to have Arenado. They used to have some other really, really good players. But their attention they get seems to be all negative. They're going to get a lot of attention this morning. If you did not see this, you did not stay up last night to see us. We had a bizarre situation involving the Braves and the Rockies playing at Coors Field. So the Braves roll into town, and Acuna Jr. is doing Acuna Jr. things again. He's one of 4 players that has 20 or more home runs and 60 or more stolen bases. So he's now got 61 stolen bases. He's hit 29 home runs. I think if he continues on this pace, he's going to hold off Mookie Betts for the National League MVP. But what a race that is.
Yeah.
I mean, Acuna Jr. and Betts are going toe-to-toe for the NL MVP. But last night during the game, a trio of fans hopped onto the field, and one of them was making a beeline for Acuna in the outfield, like coming straight for him. It's like you're standing on the train tracks, and here comes the train, and there's nothing you can do about it. So one guy runs onto the field. Then another guy runs onto the field. There was a third guy that did not get close to the star outfielder, but the first one did and went to hug him.
And selfie.
And then you had the other guy get there. The security guards, I don't know where they were initially because it took them a while to get there. I'm thinking, we've had some incidents before of, the one that kind of, the one with those two knuckleheads, which was about as bizarre as you could get.
And our Chicago White Sox.
It first started when Monica Seles got stabbed in the back.
Yeah.
So this bizarre situation last night, and as you watch the video, and there's all kinds of different angles, people initially were like cheering, "Hey, there's fans on the field." I don't get it, where you cheer that fans are on the field. But then as they get close to a player, first of all, if you come onto a playing field or a court, you deserve whatever's going to happen to you, okay? If Acuna Jr. would have thrown down his glove and all of a sudden put up the Dukes and just put you to sleep.
Yeah, Mike Curtis shows up.
You deserve that.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, man, was he in harm's way last night? As the person that first got to him went to hug him, and he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and he just kind of
I thought he might
run.
I thought he might run away, but
no.
I think it was so bizarre. You were confused, and you're like, "Oh my gosh!" So after the fact, was he in harm last night? I mean, it's on first glance, it's a scary situation. What happened in Denver?
Yeah, it's the second time something's happened there this year. I mean, Dinger, the mascot, got beaten up by some Cardinals fans early in the year, and when you said that, I saw the videos. First time I thought, what if that guy had a knife? Well, Monica Seles. I mean, same deal.
The second guy too, as they tried to restrain him, he was kicking. I mean, like he was like really agitated. So I'm almost like thankful that second guy didn't get to Ronald Acuna. I mean, the first guy did, and it was harmless. Thank goodness. Then you get security over there. But by the time the second guy gets close and they're kind of restraining him, that guy's not going out easy. Like he's just, I mean, they're taking 3 guys to try to get him to just calm down, and he's gyrating and wiggling and trying to get out of a arm lock. And that guy, that guy's scary. I mean, anybody who gets on the field like that, that's crazy to even let it get that close. And for Ronald Acuna, I think he was just kind of, I mean, and he even admitted after the game, he said, yeah, it was kind of scary. He didn't know what to do. He kind of stood there. The guy seemed harmless, the first one, but then the rest of them like, oh, hey, I got this close to him.
I don't think you can do that as an athlete.
Second guy's yelling at him.
Looks harmless. Telling you what, my dauber is up.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I don't care what they
I'm
look
either
like.
running away
Never know
or
what they
I'm
have.
I'm going to protect myself. Now, his teammates came out there to. Where was the security a while to get to the people running on the field? And I don't. You guys have all been in games. Look at between innings, and this kind of happened between innings. Is there are police officers or there are hired security that stand either on the foul lines or outside of the dugout between innings.
Yeah.
And then they're all positioned, in their places when the game is going on. It took them a long time to get there. And I was going back and forth with a friend of mine last night who's a big Braves fan, and he was like, whoa.
What is second guy doing? It just looks like he's throwing a tantrum.
I imagine, at the U.S. Open, everybody was smelling weed yesterday. Imagine if you grab these two guys in Colorado, they've probably got a good little stench. But again, they deserve everything that happened to them.
Yep.
And have fun in jail. So my friend and we were discussing this, and he's a diehard Braves fan. And he was like, man, we got lucky. What if it would have been like the guy goes to take a selfie and hug Acuna, and he goes down awkwardly. Remember, he had a knee injury,
right?
Knocked him out for a while. What happens if you just have some freak like that, and all of a sudden there goes the Braves season?
Right.
How ticked off would you be? And so his response was, the only way to cure this stuff with people running on the field, snipers. And I said, well, that's a little harsh.
This isn't Arlington.
I don't know that we're going to go snipers, but you know what would be
could you use like soft bullets?
I don't know.
That would like pelt them.
I always think about this. We haven't had as wild as the fan bases of late that have won the College World Series here in Omaha, from Ole Miss to Mississippi State to LSU. We haven't had an incident of a fan running on a field in a while.
No,
we did have a run there of locals that were running on the field. And standing by the police officers and the security guards and then the ground crew, they all get like excited. They're like, "This is our moment!" And they go and they sprint out and they're looking to tackle the person, or they get out there and they realize that it's a female. And
but they never get close to players though.
We haven't had because most of that is you're being dumb,
right?
Okay,
you just want to run from one end to the other.
1,000 likes and I'll jump on the field at TD Ameritrade.
If I can make it from the third left field foul pole to the right field foul pole, give me money. That's their goal. They're not trying to interact with players at all.
Tim says right away at Gary Sharp 1620, why not do what they do in Asia and put up nets all the way around the stadium? No way. We're gonna take away the experience for us just because of a few people.
Right.
Here's what you can do to cure it. First of all, be better and have better awareness with security guards. That when somebody jumps on the field, they're a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Maybe hire security guards that, maybe are former athletes.
Nobody should
in
ever
really,
get
really good
out
shape.
Yeah,
there
those guys
before you're
were not
approached by a
former
security
The
guard.
dude that's 350, that's 5'10", should not be running after a person that is on your field.
Yeah, agreed.
What about dogs?
Oh. Yeah,
mean dogs.
Again,
like snots.
Hey, you guys have seen the K9 cops, and kudos to them. That's a cool job. Not an easy job. I mean, your best friend is your dog, which is okay. But you've seen dogs that either as a show they go and attack the person, but they happen to be wearing that suit.
Right.
They just want to show off how great a canine dog can be.
Yep.
Can you imagine at sporting events? We have the snipers that sit on top of the stadium here. What if we had dogs on the field? Somebody comes on the field, you just release the dog, and the dog goes out and knocks down the assailant.
Eat him.
They're going to outrun you too. That's the thing. No, and I would agree. If you are on the field, you assume any risk, anything that takes place. So I don't feel bad for you. If you get a gouge in your arm from a dog,
good,
keeping you away,
dog.
You shouldn't have went on the field.
If Matt Olson would have gone out there with a bat or something, you deserve it.
Agreed.
And then, of course, that knucklehead would go to court and he'd try and, sue Olson for assault.
Yep. Yeah, he probably would. Well, he wouldn't. Probably would.
We didn't do a story about the follow-up on where are they now? Like we didn't know this at the time, but I found out that one of our listeners, that girl that went on the field at the College World Series, her dad's a ardent listener of 1620.
Hey, good morning.
Found that out the next morning. Like where like she got a lifetime ban.
Was
You
he
don't
proud?
think- no,
Okay.
he wasn't proud, but he did explain a little bit of what went on.
Oh, okay.
But we need like follow-ups, like where is she at today?
Yeah.
How has this impacted her life? Has she ever snuck back into a Mecca event? Or what about the dude that jumped on the field at Dodger Stadium earlier this year to propose?
Oh, that's
and,
right.
And his person didn't come with him.
Yeah.
Like, where is that guy? Are they now engaged? Did they break off the relationship?
That's a hell of a story, though.
I think we need follow-ups. Like, I have periodically, because it was so wild with Tom Gamboa, the two, the father and son who were straight out of, where, that attacked him. I have looked up after they got out of jail.
21 years ago now.
Yeah, I think they've gone back to jail. I'm really shocked by that because I thought I had hope for him. I thought there was a rehab in their,
that sounds
in
about
their
right.
sites.
See, I would like to know that. What did you have to do? How much time did you spend in jail? What did you have? Did you get probation? What was your sentence? What were you?
And what's that like when you go to jail and you have to tell the person what you're in for?
I ran on the field.
Oh, did we win?
Hey, what are you in for? Hey, my name's Art. What are you in for? Oh, I had a shiv and sliced my lady. What are you in for? Oh, I had too many beers and I ran onto the field at Dodger Stadium. Some crimes are not created the same.
No, not everybody.
This jail is full of angels.
Not
fans.
everybody in the holding tank is created equal. Not all their crimes are as well. Yeah.
You ever been in a holding tank?
No, I never have.
Strike me as a guy that was a little bit edgy when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
Think outside of the box, just go a little crazy.
I couldn't be talked into stuff like that.
Okay, I know that voice. Wait a minute.
Anything that would get me thrown into a holding tank. No, never did.
Jimmy?
Holding tank? No.
Oh, someone else?
I have.
A police car?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I've been in the back of a police car.
I never have. Well,
I got pulled over and had to do a breathalyzer when I was living in Lincoln. And so, long story short, I got new contacts. I went to a bar that was smoky, and so my eyes were like bloodshot.
Oh, yeah.
And I had maybe had
Likely
half.
story.
I may have had like half a beer, and I was driving down. Was it Pioneers in Lincoln? Yeah, and I got pulled over. And of course, the cop comes up, and he was really, really kind. And he goes, "Hey, I got you for speeding." And I'm like, "No, you didn't." But I didn't say anything because it was like 1:30 in the morning. And he flashed the light, and of course, my eyes are like completely bloodshot. I'm perfectly fine. And so he thought I was drinking. So I got put in the back of the police car. I had to do a breathalyzer. Yeah, it didn't even like register. I was like very, very excited. But I've also been in the back of a police car, like on a ride along. Oh,
that's
a miserable experience. I got no leg room.
Yeah.
I was complaining the whole time. I was like, "This is an uncomfortable seat. I got no leg room." Okay, can't you guys fix this in the back seat of a police car?
Do you have like a center console, like drink holders and stuff?
I was like, "Hey, can you pass me something?" All right,
it's like super bad.
But fortunately, the star Braves outfielder is okay. But I imagine
anyone 4 for 5.
The meeting of the Colorado Rocky front office today concerning their security is not going well in a conference call with Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
When one of your stars, somebody laid a hand on him.
And that could have went so much worse.
And he went down too.
Yeah.
He did.
The second guy.
Yeah, he ended
and
up
that's
kind of
when
going
you
down.
said about hurting his knee.
Yep.
That could happen there.
That could have went so much worse.
All right. Coming up on the show on this Tuesday, the lineup brought to you by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Sam McEwen will stop by. Ryan Christopherson and Andy Kendi. That's a good Tuesday lineup. Nebraska practices this morning, and then Matt Rule speaks afterwards. I'm sure there will be some follow-up questions to either the depth chart or the black shirts that were released yesterday. Because it's not just there were 11 guys and you leave it at that. I got some questions. I'm sure you do. Let's talk through it. But Matt Rule will speak after practice this morning, the last time before Nebraska leaves for Minnesota. I think also you will hear who the place kicker is today.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a little bit more on the 74-man roster that will be going north to Minneapolis for the sold-out gold out between the Huskers and the Gophers.
Connor had a great point. Minnesota is probably going to wear those awful yellow jerseys. I'll call them gold, but they're yellow.
I think last week they released online what jerseys they're wearing. I think it's maroon on maroon.
Okay.
And that's usually
with the gold helmet.
That's usually their prime time look too. The maroon on maroon. Yeah, if I remember correctly, didn't they wear that against Ohio State?
Yeah,
2
I
years
believe
ago?
so.
Yeah,
Didn't work for them that night either.
You know what?
It almost did until Mo Ibrahim got hurt.
I wish they would. They one time wore a really cool uniform with a maroon top and white pants.
Yeah, they do that too.
Yes.
I mean, it's very rare they wear white pants because they
Yep.
usually wear gold pants
Yep.
or maroon pants on the road.
Yep, I remember that, and they've gone all whites as well. So yes, so yeah,
And we're confident that Nebraska is white on red, right?
yeah.
Okay. No, none of this white on white stuff.
Well, have you backed away from that?
I'm going to go 98%.
Minnesota by 700 if Nebraska shows up white on white.
Yeah.
This
Oh wait,
ain't-
no,
hey,
you're convinced they're going to do red on red at some point, aren't you?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
Maybe not this year.
If they wear white on white, I feel sorry for Connor and Josh. That overreaction could be quite festive.
Rule hasn't even
Yeah.
coached a game and he's already surrendering.
He's got white on white. Come on.
Or you can spin it this way. Well, Mike Riley, they went up to Minnesota. They had
White
a
on
running
white.
back named Newby who dominated the game, and Nebraska was wearing white on white that day. So take that,
Yep.
Mr. Talk Show host who has Minnesota winning by 700, us wearing white.
Could
Rule
they
has
bring
done
back the splash?
Rule has done a good job of not messing things up. He's kept it very
Yeah.
simple. I love how they did the black shirts,
Yep.
and the black shirts were Rule's thing. It was not anybody else.
Right.
I mean, it's now as we get closer to the game. If you didn't realize this already, this is Rule's program. Every decision goes through Matt Rule. Like the decision on who the place kicker isn't for the smiley chubby guy. That's the special teams coach.
Hello.
Oh, Ed.
That is Matt Rule. The black shirts are not for. I might develop a man crush on a 44-year-old defensive coordinator in Nebraska.
It's all right.
It's not his decision. It is Matt Rule's
Mhm.
decision. The only thing that has not been Matt Rule's decision is the single-digit numbers.
That's the team's decision.
So
As blessed by Matt Rule.
So he has
Approved by
he has
Matt Rule.
not overthought things because he did the black shirts the way they should be done. I don't think he will overthink this. Could he go this long without really like making a misstep? And you could make a case that the tight end situation, but going white on white for your first game.
Yeah.
No, they'll be just keep it simple.
No,
white
they'll be
on
white
red
on
is a great look. White helmets,
Classic.
gray face mask, please. That's all I
Hey.
request.
What's he going
Hey.
to wear?
He'll have a smock.
Smock. Red Adidas.
Because he started, if you've noticed, when they got into camp, he started wearing it more and more.
Yeah,
It's
except
coming.
for the
It's
weird,
coming.
the white sleeve and the red sleeve one. Did we discuss that enough?
We did not.
That was weird.
No, I'm good. I'm good on discussing
good on
what
the
guys wear.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was very confusing though. I thought at first he had one sleeve off.
I'm more concerned about the thing inside of what they're wearing. If you want to talk about
Okay.
what they're wearing,
I was just a little nervous
that's
about
you
that.
and Jimmy. Go do a podcast.
There was
I could care less.
Okay.
1620, the
I didn't know what was
fashion show.
happening. I didn't know
Hey.
what was happening there.
Nebraska wins in Minnesota.
Wear whatever you want to wear.
Rule could be wearing shorts.
He should.
Terry Donahue once did in a game.
He should wear shorts.
Very LA.
It'll be nice and warm. It'll be shorts weather up there. He should wear it.
I don't know. I mean, some people say, like the West Side staff, I was giving those guys a hard time Friday night. Lamanji wears pants. So, like this time of the year, there's a lot of coaching staffs who will wear shorts just because they're comfortable and it's
Really?
so friggin' hot. Yeah, the West Side staff wears
Lamanji's
black
old
pants.
school.
Good for them.
Hey, all right.
I would assume.
I like it.
So
It's a
I-
style.
coaches have gone back to wearing shorts.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
during this time of the year.
No, I've
Oh,
seen it.
yeah,
Really?
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of like even head coaches this time of the year when it's really, really warm are wearing shorts in high school.
Right.
I don't recall in college.
Nope.
No, I don't think
Only
he
one
has.
game. That's what I said. Terry Donahue against Miami.
Now, if
95?
you're a head football coach at like a Division I school or whatever school, and you've got a good looking body, why not rock the shorts?
Yeah.
Like who wouldn't have wanted to see Tom Osborne coach a game wearing those red
bike shorts.
those red bike
Yeah,
shorts?
the bike shorts and the socks
that if
pulled
you
up to the
make
knees.
that if you make a misstep, something might fall out.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But you have to
Especially
wear the
on a warm
socks up
day.
to the knees.
That's
You got to
low.
wear the
Yes.
socks up to the knees.
Yes.
Randy Floyd.
Can you get those bike shorts anymore? Anywhere?
I tried a few years ago. We were
they
doing,
used?
No.
Oh.
You could just.
There
and
has to
could,
be.
I
For
could
the
not,
record,
could not find them
I
anywhere.
vehemently I like Goodwill. I will not wear like
Shorts.
somebody else's shorts.
No. You know they have underwear there.
At Goodwill?
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine.
As a collector's item?
Used?
You can buy it.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
I think that's the first thing when I ever went to a Goodwill.
Don't
I'm
wear
like,
'em
why-
anyhow.
Why do they have underwear here? It's something that I would
Oh,
draw
I
a
think
line
you
there.
can. They're bikeathletic.com.
Oh really?
They're there.
Ah.
Halloween. Only a
I
couple
could
months
not
away.
find them, so maybe they brought them back.
Yeah, they brought them back.
Good.
Maybe they are in all their glory.
Maybe
Well-
the week that they celebrate the 100th anniversary.
Yes, they should.
Rule in practice could wear red bike shorts, or
all the coaches in practice,
or in a game, go with the white polo and the all red
The all red
slacks
pants.
that Osborne used to wear.
Now that would be
See,
slick.
they should do that. I think that'd be very cool.
About
You know why
tradition.
those shorts came back, by the way?
Everything's coming back.
No, you see what the kids are wearing?
Mom jeans.
Like less is more on the shorts for the
Oh, yeah,
youngsters
yeah,
now.
yeah.
So they probably actually would like those shorts.
The light blue are sold out, by the way. If you guys are
light blue.
looking to wear your Carolina,
I remember my dad had royal blue and red.
we have
and gray.
We have black, navy, and then a shorter version of black and navy. So there we go.
Well, you
yeah,
gotta get the short version.
bikeathletic.com.
Okay, good.
What do they run?
Pretty good. About $46, $48. 48 for the shorter, 46 for longer.
That's
it could be worse.
What?
It's not Lululemon.
Hello, money bags.
Jeez,
You just said that just
$46?
casually for a pair of shorts.
That's
$46,
because
$48.
everything is expensive
I thought
now.
they'd be like $20.
No, nothing's $20.
Could we golf in those things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that would.
And then the first image that pops up here is a picture of Joe Gibbs and his staff.
Yeah,
That's a classic.
Yep.
That's
well,
right. That was
remember they
training
had
camp.
those pants. They had the
Yes,
same things
they
as
did.
pants.
We call them joggers now.
Yeah.
Very, very
That's
popular.
awesome. They had their names stitched on them too.
Those did kind of
That's-
bell bottom down, if I remember those pants correctly, too. They kind of bell bottomed out.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
I just remember Joe
totally
Gibbs in
remember
the
those.
R hat.
Yep. Man, I see. Now
Take
you're
me
onto
back.
something. Rule and the coaching staff should go the white polo and
Red
the
pants.
red slacks. Yes.
It's a
Again,
great
in that Northwestern game. Now, who knows what the temperature is going to be like? But yeah, that'd be awesome.
Rule doesn't mind the cold.
Or practice that week. Just go with the red bike shorts.
I think you go with the red bike shorts in practice.
Yeah.
And see if anybody notices.
Totally.
All right. 40 past the hour, often running. All right. When we come back, this whole thing about Rule doing it the right way. Did he get the handling of the black shirts done in the right way? I'm nodding. Yes, I'll explain. But there are two curious individuals who did not get a black shirt. Why? We'll get into that when we come back. Coming up in the hour, Sam McEwen stops by with a lot of thoughts prior to the season opener between Nebraska and Minnesota coming up on Thursday, right here on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hey, Connor. What's up? So, you're getting an Auto Express Lane certificate in less than a year?
I need to put my career in the fast lane.
And Jenny, in just 5 months, you earned a veterinary assistant certificate?
It's kind of a pet project.
JC, is that
blood? Yeah, I'll be certified as a phlebotomy tech in just 5 months.
A positive, JC? Earn a career certificate in less than a year. Get started at mccneb.edu/adults. Classes start September 5th.
This is me at MCC.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
As the world faces the challenges of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Lions recognize that kindness matters now more than ever.
And Lions and Leos are finding ways to continue to serve our communities, including ordering food delivery for healthcare workers, holding story time for children online, and providing surgical masks to medical professionals and first responders. Empowering us to do more, Lions Clubs International Foundation has provided nearly $2.5 million in grant funding for COVID-19 relief. And that support continues to grow. For more than 100 years, in times of need, Lions always find a way to help those around them. And after we emerge from this, we will be stronger than ever. Visit lionsclubs.org to learn more.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is $50 worth of vouchers to Le Voltaire French Restaurant for only $25. Le Voltaire Pepperwood Village is a locally owned, unpretentious French restaurant serving down-home cooking with an extensive wine list and great handcrafted cocktails for decades. Whether dining with friends, clients, or that special someone, Le Voltaire will make you feel right at home.
Zone Deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
And we're back. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back in on a Tuesday. It is game week. College football is here. The NFL is right around the corner. Volleyball day in Nebraska or America, wherever you might be. One of the coolest things that the athletic department has ever done. The King's Court down at Memorial Stadium, which from the overhead view, when you just see that court in that mammoth stadium, is so cool. That is coming up tomorrow. And then, of course, Nebraska and Minnesota kick off at 7 o'clock with Gus and Joel on the call on Thursday night. Talk about a prime opportunity for Nebraska to show off for the first two games. The window that they get to be on Fox, a standalone game on a Thursday, and then the following week have the whole Dion show when you're in not a standalone game, but you get the attention, at least for one team, that they will have with the Colorado game. And I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but Fox has gone all in on Deion Sanders. There are a couple of promos that are running. If you're watching any Fox affiliated station, like even during the Royals game last night, while Zach Greinke was getting beat around and the Royals were not supporting him on the scoreboard, there was Deion promos. I thought, oh man, that's unique. I never thought that they would promote that game. That one team is a 3-touchdown underdog.
Yep,
going to be warm down there for that one.
Yeah, Deion is
such a Midwestern. You're so Midwestern.
I know.
It's going to be a hot one.
Going to be a hot one.
Make sure you hydrate.
They could use the rain.
And make sure you monitor what color your pee is.
Oh.
Yeah, don't championship level hydration.
So somebody sent that tweet to us as far as the guide, but it didn't have like the
piss chart.
Yeah, it didn't have your letting your team down.
Oh yeah. I have that picture somewhere from my trip to, I think it was Austin.
Who actually really enjoyed that was Bellevue US head coach Mike Huffman.
Oh, thank you, Coach.
He retweeted it and everything. He was a big fan of the year-end chart that we put out there. So
I wasn't a big fan of what happened Friday night.
I don't believe he was.
All right, right now in the FIBA Cup, Australia and Japan are playing. So Australia is up by 22 at the end of the first half. Tominaga is not wasting any time today taking shots.
How has he shot?
Well, let's just say that he's played 9 minutes in the first half. He has 4 points. He is 2 of 10 from the floor. He is 0 of 6 from behind three-point range. I believe, as I peruse the box score, he is Xavier Cooks. Boy, that's an Australian name.
Yeah.
He is 7 of 11. So Tominaga has taken the second most shots That's not bad. Go get yourself some,
Yep.
Casey. 10 shots taken in 9 minutes. I mean, you never know when you're going to get that chance again. Get off the bench and just keep firing away.
Shoot the J.
Let's see. Anybody else taking
the
6
glass.
3-point attempts? No. Man, this Australian team is pretty good. Joe Ingles, Josh Giddey.
Hey, Joe Ingles.
Dante Exum.
Okay.
Dyson Daniels is on this team. Thibault is on this team. Jack White. Is there?
Wow. What can't he do?
Well, but you know what? Like, if you're thinking of Australian names, mate, Jack White is like I bet Jack White is a very popular Australian name.
Yeah.
See that.
Oh, by the way, they have Patty Mills as well. This Australian team is
Jack
really
White.
good. Jack White.
I can see a lot of Jacks in Australia. Yeah, Jack White. That one, I feel like Liam. I don't know why I think Liam is too.
No,
that's more British.
Is that? Yeah, maybe that is more British. You're right.
Yeah,
That could be.
yeah.
Yeah.
Remember your Oasis,
I keep thinking of Mick
Mick,
because of Mick Dundee.
Yeah,
come
yeah,
on. I mean, our most celebrated Australian ever, Mick Dundee.
I think there's some pressure if you're named Jack White.
You gotta be cool.
I think there's some pressure on you.
We got to be somebody.
Yeah, you
athlete or guitar
You got,
player.
yeah, you got to be a somebody.
like Jack White is an athlete or entertainment name.
Yes.
Like Gary Sharp is not. Like Gary Sharp should be like a blue collar guy that's working at Kellogg's. Okay, that's a good name. Like Jack White is, man, Jack White, when you come out of the womb and they name you Jack and your parents are the Whites, you got a little pressure.
Yeah, you better be good.
Yeah.
Better be good at what you do.
Because if not,
That'd be cool, mate.
You're going to be scorned.
Oh, yeah.
Jack White. But Jack White
You
is
can't,
the
be,
only-
you can't be just a C student and
He-
just like, get by in life.
But in this case, Jack White has not gone off the bench today for Australia.
No.
That's the issue.
All right,
See,
so
already letting down.
you go, Casey. You just keep shooting that rock, baby. They're down 22 at halftime to Australia. Sam McEwen of the World Herald is going to join us here in a little bit. I'm sure he'll have a thought or two on black shirts, which here's how I know things are being handled well. Think of all the times in this state when that very much an honor is given to a player and how it is done, and we absolutely friggin' lose our minds on how it was handed out, who got it, and we talk about it.
Yeah.
We have sarcastically talked about this all summer. Like periodically you'll drop in, I wonder if Rule will get asked about the black shirts.
Or
someone's got to ask him about the black shirts.
Somebody go and ask it as a joke.
But we've had no discussion of like, well, let's break down. Let's see, I think Rule will give out 40 of them. So where do you guys want to start on the depth chart? That's how I know this has been handled well. And what they did, and this is all Matt Rule. I mean, this is Matt Rule's program. If you didn't know, it says it on the door. When you walk in, it says Matt Rule, head coach. He gave it to the starting 11, and it's a week-by-week thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way to handle it, is the guys that are starting get a black shirt. It's not 12. It's not 13. It's not 6.
Yeah.
It's not 50. It is the guys that are starting that have the black shirts. They're wearing the 11. It's going to be very odd to watch Nebraska defensively play on Thursday night. And 7 of the 11 starters are single-digit guys.
Right.
That's going to be really, really peculiar.
Especially 2 defensive linemen.
Now, Nebraska fans will get it, and it will dawn on you pretty quick. I wonder how many other fans will make that correlation and go, "Oh, that's odd. Nebraska has a lot of single-digit defensive numbers, including linemen.
Yeah, when they
their
see
nose
Nash
tackle is
Hutmacher
wearing
zero.
a 0.
Right.
But I like the way he did it. I think he did it the right way. And you know what? He did it without any discussion. Like there was, I don't imagine on this station yesterday, people, if they were very sarcastic. Nobody was like, well, he's already made his first mistake. He's already taken an L. Wait till Fleck puts it in Sharpie, that it's an L on Thursday night, the way he did the black shirts. No one said that.
No.
And I think it's the starting 11 should have it, and it should be a week-to-week thing. You're a starter, you get a black shirt.
Yeah. And that's something that I always feel like, remember when it was the players who decided they wanted to turn their black shirts back in? You've had all these different like weird dramatic twists when it comes to either handing out the black shirts or that question of when the black shirts are not playing up to, standard. We always ask the question, they shouldn't be wearing them. Well, the coaches wouldn't take it away, but the players did. But there were a couple players who didn't give them up. And it was just this weird thing.
Yeah, you're overthinking things. That's what's got
Exactly.
Nebraska in trouble, is either you don't have a good thinker that's running the show, or you overthink things. Nebraska football is simple. You've got so many things at your fingertips to help you be successful. Don't overthink. It only hurts the organization.
Yeah. Only hurts the ball club. Yeah, I mean, I think to the core of the black shirts, and Charlie McBride could speak much better than any of us on this, it was a deserving person that was part of the defense. That if you were a starter and you had earned that black shirt, that was something that you were going to be rewarded with. But if you were not held up to that standard week in and week out, then you were not considered somebody that was worthy to wear that black shirt. And so if you're doing this as a week by week thing, in my opinion, that's how, growing up, that's how I always thought the black shirts were, is these are the guys that you are going to trust. These are the guys that are going to get the job done. And if somebody is not, well, then they're not going to be part of that mix the next week. They're not going to be getting a lot of the reps in the game. They're not going to be on the field in the moments that matter. So is that black shirt worthy by that standard? And I'm sure a lot of people that have donned that black shirt would say, no, it's not. So when you have 17 or 18, because, well, we're going to rotate a bunch of guys in, so they may not start, but they could be on the field at the very end. To us, that's black shirt worthy. No, just make it simple. 11 guys, you got 11 people on the field. Yeah, you could look at, MJ Sherman and Nick Henrich and be like, well, aren't those guys going to be a part of this? Isn't Nick Henrich listed as a number one linebacker? Well, not yet. I mean, he's on the depth chart as number one, but this is the 11. Whether these are the guys that are the first group out there against Minnesota or not, this is the 11 that they chose. They did not go more. They did not go less. They didn't leave like, oh, we only handed out 8 because we felt 8 were deserving. No, 11 players are on the field. These are the 11 that Matt Rule decided on.
I think the 2 that you just brought up that didn't get a black shirt, I mean, they're explainable. I think you're going to find out today that Nick Henrich got dinged up. Not long term. I don't know what it means for Thursday night. I don't think it's severe, but I think he's been dinged because, come on now. If we're looking at black shirts and a guy that's been a multi-game starter.
And a single-digit guy, too.
Well, and he's not. He didn't get a black shirt. So I think there's a little injury situation there.
Mm-hmm.
The MJ Sherman one surprised me because I did a pool where you had to pick like who will have the most tackles for lost sacks. And MJ Sherman showed up a lot. And I think from the jack position that MJ Sherman will be pretty good. Now, got to get better in pass coverage, but Chief Borders getting one. And MJ Sherman not, and that doesn't mean MJ Sherman's not going to play. I think they're going to play a fair amount on Thursday night. It was kind of surprising. But it might be surprising, but it might be a good thing that Chief Borders has come away from being this social media darling that is hanging out with Jeff Gardner and the Nebraska track and field team to, it's time to play some football, son. You're an SEC transfer as well. And he's had a good fall camp because he has done something that if you want to get in the good graces of the head football coach, your Monday looks exactly like what you did on Friday and Thursday and Wednesday and Tuesday.
Yep.
People want to know, where's Judy? Well, how about being consistent? Yep. What about Anthony Grant? How about being consistent? You want to be consistent? You're going to get rewarded. And I think that's what's happened to Chief Borders, that he got a black shirt ahead of a guy who may be one of the most disruptive guys on the defense before the year is over, and MJ Sherman.
Yeah, I mean, and again, this comes back to accountability. This comes back to the end game of what Matt Rule and this coaching staff are trying to get out there, that everybody's going to be held to a certain standard, regardless of how big you might be for this team and whether your ceiling is bigger than the guy who maybe got one over you. There's going to be that accountability of we need that consistency. We got to be able to rely on you. And so that's what I think. And I thought Tony White did a good job of explaining that more about Chief Borders and even mentioned, MJ Sherman, that someone that, is going to, be a big part of this defense. But he talked about exactly that same thing, the consistency of Chief Borders of what they've gotten from him, where that would make him a regular guy in that lineup and a guy that's going to be worthy of a black shirt.
Now, looking at the picture yesterday, and I like this defense. I mean, I think if I'm Marcus Satterfield, I don't know what you're going to do, but you got to keep that defense fresh for a while until your offense finds something. And the stark reality is Nebraska has some deficiencies in a lot of places, but I think the defense, because of a 44-year-old defensive coordinator who is a major up-and-comer in the world of assistant coaches in college football, he's going to be able to do enough to keep your head above water, but you got to keep them fresh, is looking at what they do from that aspect on the defensive side of the ball. But why I'm even more intrigued, start making a list over there, Jimmy, of players that if they play the way they look, watch out, Grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Blaze Gunnarsson, if Blaze Gunnarsson plays anywhere close to how he looks now, we're cooking with some peanut oil, my friends. And this isn't hyperbole.
It's certified dude.
He looks good. Like Deshaun Singleton will play like he looks. Deshaun Singleton looks like an NFL safety. I mean, the dude is cock diesel and he's got speed. But if like the picture yesterday that was shared, Blaze Gunnarsson stands out. Man, he looks different. He looks more different than he's ever looked at Nebraska.
I thought he looked different when it was the first or second week of fall camp when he got up there and spoke. He looked like a different dude just then.
I mean, could this be the year where guys actually play like how they look?
So they're not just the all bust.
We've made this every year of, oh man, that guy looks great.
Yeah.
Physically, he looks completely different. And then you know what happens? We sit here in October and go, where is
right?
Could this be the first year where guys that look different actually they play like they look?
God, I hope so.
Hey, if that's the case, that defense,
because there's some strength there.
Yeah.
Formula.
Are those just weight room muscles, or are those actually going to be football muscles too? You know, I mean, because there is a difference. And you're right. I mean, so many times, and I got caught up in this a couple of years ago, especially when Zach Duvall got here. When you're seeing those spring, usually between spring and summer, you're seeing some of those weight room clips of. Usually it was Nash Hutmacher, but a lot of guys that are squatting like a house, or they're deadlifting a truck, and you're just like, Jesus, these guys are huge, they're strong. Look at all this, and then either it doesn't show up on the field where they're getting pushed over all over the place, or they're not even getting on the field. And so I would like to believe that, yes, there is not only something to this because of this coaching staff and believing in this coaching staff, but when you look at those guys, having them sort of reshape their bodies the right way too, which is a big part of that.
All right. 1 hour in the books. Sam McEwen, Brian Christopherson, Andy Kendi, all going to drop by with their thoughts on the upcoming game and the upcoming season. We'll talk about, instead of giving me a win-loss, what's going to happen Thursday night, the expectation of what we expect Nebraska to look like, or at least give off the appearance before they get their feet on the ground. All that to come as we roll through 10 on a Tuesday. The whole gang in studio on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com with Gary Sharp and Nick Handley.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From LeBackland Plumbing, time-saving traffic center. We have no accidents to report at this time, but you can expect a little bit of slowdown near 90th and L. Then along 204th, there's going to be some delays from Harrison to Q Street. And other than that, it looks like your commute this morning should be pretty smooth, even if you're running a bit late. As always, remember to stay safe and wear your seatbelts. I'm Chris Scott. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
If you have a large amount of gold or precious metals and want the best price with no waiting, Saul's makes it easy and fast. Any amount of gold, silver, or jewelry, no limit, immediate payment. Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Shop Sid Dillon Chevrolet, Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer. Visit any of our 4 locations for your new Chevy or pre-owned vehicle, or at SidDillonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Driving high will get you a DUI. And if you're wondering if law enforcement can tell you're driving high, well, everyone else can. Friends?
I can tell you drove high.
Parents?
I can tell when you drive high.
Relatives?
I can tell. You drove here high, didn't you?
So what makes you think law enforcement can't?
I can tell.
If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
Sure, you could go elsewhere for your health and wellness products, or better yet, why not just come to 42 Degrees? Those other places don't even come close to the wide variety and premium disposable e-juice, CBD, Delta, Kratom, glass pipes, vaporizers, and other great products. With the friendliest, most knowledgeable, and professional staff who will find the right products just for you. If you're looking for a one-stop shopping experience, look no further. 42 Degrees. By your mom's house.
Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Mike Rowe here with a gentle reminder that civilization is held together by pipes, wires, and cables. It's true. There are over 5 million miles of gas lines, power lines, fiber optic lines, water lines, and sewer lines, all buried beneath your feet. And every 60 seconds, somebody digs into one. Look, if you're thinking about digging around, do yourself a favor and call 811 first just to find out what's down there. Trust me, you don't want to find out the hard way. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit safeexcavator.com for more info.
Happy birthday to us. That's right. We're turning 50 this year, and we're celebrating with you. Introducing my new birthday cake streusel, topped with vanilla cake and crunchy streusel, a swirl of white icing, and showered with rainbow sprinkles. Paired with our classic combo, the one that started it all, and your favorite one-topping pizza. Happy birthday feast. Enjoy one today. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
The extracurricular activities, the traffic, the nightly homework, the traffic, the finding time to eat dinner together as a family, the traffic. Back to school can be stressful. Thanks to Ziploc, meal prep doesn't have to be. New Ziploc bags with Stay Open design have a patented stand-up bottom that helps keep the bag upright and a top crease that folds and holds for easy filling, unlocking a second set of hands in the kitchen. If only it unlocked a second set of lanes. New Ziploc brand freezer and storage bags with Stay Open design from S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone. Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620, The Zone.
Hey, how bizarre is it that Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State, like three juggernauts of college football, three teams that could be playing in the playoff, all are breaking in new quarterbacks in the same year? Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah.
You think one of them will go really well, one of them in the middle, and then one of them it's,
Well,
now all three being.
Yeah, I mean, that's three teams that are showing up in a lot of people's playoffs are all breaking in new quarterbacks. Now whoever the quarterback is going to be, Ohio State hasn't named theirs yet, but Alabama hasn't named theirs. But Georgia with Beck, they all kind of have a little lead in.
Right.
Alabama, Texas play week 2, but that's just an oddity of this season.
And it's yet you still get a little bit of that benefit of the doubt with those programs of it's the next stud in, the next guy in. If it's not a transfer, then it's a 5-star guy that's been waiting in the wings. And I was listening to a little bit of the conversation about USC and this goes back to how much stock we want to put into game day. I think it was other than maybe Reese Davis, everybody else did not take USC to win the Pac-12. And I think about that with
Oregon.
What is a loaded conference with great quarterbacks. I mean, you've got the best quarterback there with USC, and then what we saw with Zachariah Branch. I mean, my gosh, that's pretty exciting. Yeah, you got to be able to stop it. But I mean, think about those types of programs that we consider to be in that group. Caleb Williams being the headliner right there. That goes a long way with other teams that people are kind of looking at. Maybe ahead of USC, to your point, are all breaking in new quarterbacks too, which that's where we just give those programs the benefit of the doubt that they got their guy, they got their dudes, they got their competition going on, and it's going to work out for those teams, which I think that's a big story to watch in the first month of the season.
Have you guys noticed or felt this? And again, Alabama hasn't named their starting quarterback. Saban, for the first time in 17 years in T-Town, didn't give out a depth chart.
Oh,
But,
sneaky Nick Saban.
Hey, I bet the jocks in Birmingham, I bet that was just glorious sports talk radio yesterday. Have you guys noticed like a shift in the sentiment towards Alabama? Watching like game day this weekend and seeing like Josh Pate and others that are making the predictions. I like RJ Young, who's over with Fox on the digital side. When the month of August began, Alabama was like, this is it. Got them even third in their own division.
Mm-hmm.
I have noticed as fall camp has gone on and now we're to game week, there are more like national pundits that are picking Alabama not only to win their own division, but also to win the SEC. Where did the sentiment on Alabama change?
Well,
Barrett Sallee, I saw yesterday in CBS Sports. He was down on Saban. He was down because of the quarterback, and all of a sudden, he got Alabama winning the West. Wait, what happened?
Here comes that Georgia.
Did I take a nap and all of a sudden
Yeah.
Saban brought back Smith and Hurts and
Jalen's got another.
Did Kirby go back to Alabama?
Tua is back.
Yeah.
Will Anderson is back.
I do wonder how much of the are we overlooking Nick Saban too much factor weighs in to where it comes down to, all right, now it's time for me to put my prediction out there. Can I really go against Nick Saban? Can I really go against what he has built there with how they have recruited, with how they've played the transfer portal very sparingly? But again, picking his spots, this is still Nick Saban. And this is something that, I was listening to Paul Feinbaum, like basically do all he could to bury Alabama. I thought, wait a minute, are we doing this a little prematurely? And I feel like people have started to kind of realize, wait a minute, did we start to put them further down the pecking order of not trusting Nick Saban enough? I don't think this is an Alabama football, like personnel wise. I think this is more of a Nick Saban thing of, oh, wait, you know what? They still got that guy, and he seems to be motivated. And in turn, talk about a coach that sets the tone for the rest of his players. This group feels disrespected. And what would that look like?
Don't even go there. Don't even.
I think they do.
Kirby
8-4.
Kirby tried to say we're just worried about ourselves,
mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden the people on game day started picking Alabama.
Yeah,
that'll come up sometime this year. One game.
Those teams.
You got one game to win. Nick Saban, Kirby Smart.
I'm still going Nick Saban.
I'm going to go with Saban. And I like Kirby. I've always been a fan, but I'm going to go with Saban.
I'm still taking Nick Saban. And I'll give you the reason why. Because he has continued to evolve in college football. He's continued to try to find the answer. And for the most part, it's usually worked. And I get it. Georgia's had the number the last couple of years, but I feel like we know more about Nick Saban. Now, can I ask, are we getting Nick Saban at his best or
Nick
on
Saban
the decline?
Today. No, we're not doing this. This is
Okay.
Nick Saban today.
I'll
Nick
take
Saban and Kirby Smart today.
I'll still take Nick Saban.
Yeah, still going to take Nick. It's not as slam dunk as it used to be, but yeah, that's kind of a respect thing. I will go with Nick Saban.
Like talent.
Yep.
Well, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just pointing this out.
Mm-hmm.
Chris writes into the Equitable Bank inbox. Hello, Doug. But in this case, hello, Chris. Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State versus the field. Which side are you taking? Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, or the field?
Ooh.
You have a little Wolverine blood in you? How about the Ducks? How about
I'll go with the 3. I hate admitting that, but yeah.
I think I'm going to take the field.
You are as safe as Jack Moore making a free throw, Jimmy. I just made all of our old school Nebraska basketball fans I warmed their cockles.
Jack Moore, not Jack White.
No, he's playing right now. Well, actually, he's not playing. They need to put him in.
I would go with one of the trio. Now, in terms of you get the quarterback right, and you want to rank them, Ohio State. I think Ryan Day is good enough with a quarterback. Yeah. That doesn't always equate to the NFL, but in that program, they get the quarterback right. Alabama, Georgia have the most. Well, Alabama has the most pressure to be good at quarterback. Georgia needs a game manager in Carson Beck because they're just loaded around them. All right, let's check in on what Tominaga is doing. His team isn't very well. Australia has invaded Japan, and they are just taking all the electronics for themselves. They are up 27 with 3:04 to go in the third quarter. Tominaga is currently playing, so he has checked into the game. He has now played 16 minutes today. He's only got 4 points. He is 2 of 11 from the floor. He has yet to hit a three.
He only shot one more time since the last time we checked in.
He's got
What the hell?
got a couple of rebounds, got an assist, has a steal, and also is swole. As the people in my gym say, they say, Gary, you're swole. And I said, you know what? I am feeling pretty swell. And they're like, no, swole. Tominaga, the weight program he has been on, and whatever they did after the end of the season, is pretty noticeable. And maybe that'll help with the grind of the Big Ten. It is not helping against Australia in the FIBA Cup. Josh Giddey has 16.
And where are they at in that game?
I got 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, so there is an opportunity for Japan to come back on Australia. But as you know,
fourth quarter
in the world powers, unless Japan has a bomber or two, Australia's got a good shot here. For all you kiddos out there, I just gave you a history lesson.
I noticed the invasion use there too.
Everybody's covered today.
Why would anybody invade Australia?
You wouldn't.
I mean, Sydney is a beautiful country, the outback.
Old coast.
I mean, you don't know this until you get face to face. I'm not fighting a kangaroo.
No.
Even if I have nunchucks or a Chinese star.
Yeah, I got kangaroo in 4 games.
Yeah. Hell, I might go the 3-game sweep.
You'll come out for game 4, but it'll be over by the end of the first quarter.
No, I'm not messing with them.
You don't want any of that kangaroo smoke.
No. Oh, no. Just get a headbutt by one of them. Would that be enough?
And it's over.
All right, this is the most attention I've paid to a non-USA game in FIBA. And Tominaga's involved. Whoa.
This is the Tominaga effect.
Damn.
Yeah.
They just hit a 3 and it wasn't Tominaga.
Yeah, turn it off. There's really no reason to watch it anymore. I'm telling you, fourth quarter, though, that's where you're going to see that stat line go up.
It is interesting for players that have a connection to a country. Like, let's say they live in the U.S., but their parents were like from Germany, so they can play for Germany.
Right.
There's a guy playing for Japan named Josh Hawkinson. So possibly had parents that were based over in Japan, so he was born in Japan. You have on the floor right now for Japan, you have Keisei, you have Utah, you have Hirotaka, you have Yuki, and then you have Josh.
That's about right.
Good on him. Hey,
what doesn't sound right?
Remember in the World Baseball Classic, if you have some connection to that country, you're eligible to play. And so all of a sudden, Jack White is playing for China.
And Josh Hawkinson is
playing for Japan. 16 past the hour. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get an update with Jimmy. Sam McEwen will stop by. We got thoughts ahead of Nebraska and Minnesota, how this thing is going to unfold coming up on Thursday night in the Twin Cities with good weather and a great back-to-back for Nebraska athletics. One of the coolest things they will ever do tomorrow night. And then hopefully a guy that'll be here longer than the combined tenure of Mike Riley and Scott Frost when Matt Rule begins on Thursday. All that to come as we're here till 10, right with you on 1620 The Zone. House Buick GMC, located 119th and I, climate-controlled indoor showroom is the place for you. You're looking for that next vehicle, whether it be a passenger vehicle, whether it be a stylish SUV that fits the whole family comfortably. You got 3-row seating, lots of cargo room, lots of infotainment, or a capable truck to get the job done. You can find it now at 119th and I or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. Shop there first, purchase with confidence. They simply have something for everyone, and they got great deals right now on the Acadia, the Sierra, the Buicks. Great deals off MSRP on leases. You can check them out in person or online. You got to act quickly. They'll end this time next week in person, 119th and I, or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Gary Sharp, Nick Handley, and Jimmy Chavez. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10. On 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Mornings on 1620 The Zone is brought to you by MD West One Orthopedics, Neurosurgery, and Spine. Previously on The Crossover.
I'm in for maximum stupid because it appears as if the people that run college athletics are also into maximum stupid.
That's just the Pac-12 commissioner. That guy screwed this whole thing.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
He's a huge
Both
idiot.
of the guys were idiots, Larry Scott and now Kliavkoff.
It's amazing how he's worse than Larry Scott.
Yeah, how he just let these teams all right, see you later.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley, the Connor Happer Show, unsportsmanlike conduct, 6A to 6P, 1620, The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny and warm for Tuesday, expecting smoky haze to move in throughout the day. Watch for a drop in air quality as we head into the afternoon and evening as Canadian wildfire smoke overspreads the area. Highs in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
This hour is powered by Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair, Nebraska on 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From LeBackwin Plumbing, time-saving traffic center. We have no accidents to report at this time, but you can't expect a little bit of slowdown near 90th and L. Then along 204th, there's going to be some delays from Harrison to Q Street. And other than that, it looks like your commute this morning should be pretty smooth, even if you're running a bit late. As always, remember to stay safe and wear your seatbelts. I'm Chris Scott. This time-saving traffic was brought to you by IBEW Local 22.
Does great pay, fully funded medical benefits, and a solid retirement sound good to you? IBEW has immediate openings for electricians. Invest in yourself with IBEW Local 22. Call 402-810-0789 or visit IBEW22.org today.
Certified Transmissions built its reputation on the job done right. It means hard work, honesty, and integrity.
And together, we ensure our customers leave satisfied and worry-free.
Certified Transmission, the job done right at the right price.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Driving high will get you a DUI. And if you're wondering if law enforcement can tell you're driving high, well, everyone else can. Friends,
I can tell you drove high.
parents,
I can tell when you drive high.
relatives.
I can tell. You drove here high, didn't you?
So what makes you think law enforcement can't?
I can tell.
If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
The extracurricular activities, the traffic, the nightly homework, the traffic, the finding time to eat dinner together as a family, the traffic. Back to school can be stressful. Thanks to Ziploc, meal prep doesn't have to be. New Ziploc bags with Stay Open design have a patented stand-up bottom that helps keep the bag upright and a top crease that folds and holds for easy filling, unlocking a second set of hands in the kitchen. If only it unlocked a second set of lanes. New Ziploc brand freezer and storage bags with Stay Open design from S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Best of both worlds. Barbecue and soul food. We're now taking Labor Day catering orders. 402-502-6695. Rib Shack Smokehouse, 108th and Q. Come get you some.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
And we're back. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
Nebraska freshman outside hitter Harper Murray is named Big Ten Freshman of the Week on Monday. In her first collegiate matches, Murray led the Huskers to a 3-0 record. No surprise there at their Emeritus Players Challenge. The Ann Arbor, Michigan native averaged just 3.67 kills per set with a 343 hitting percentage. She also posted 2.33 digs per set and totaled 6 blocks, 5 aces, and 4 set assists.
Real deal.
Yeah.
Why'd you say that with disdain in your voice?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm not.
right.
If anything, I'm just astonished. They just keep rolling. There is
Hey.
no rebuilding. It really is reloading.
You know what is, and maybe it shouldn't surprise people in that sport because the club volleyball is at such a high level for the elite recruits, is that freshmen in volleyball can step in at certain spots and be ready to go right away. Like the excellent recruiting class that Nebraska has that they just welcomed to campus. I mean, they showed out in the 3 matches over the weekend, but if you were watching and you didn't have a program, you wouldn't know they were freshmen. I think in that sport, that's amazing that freshmen can step in and be so good right away.
I compare it a lot to baseball. Compared a lot to where you see a lot of those, whether they're the prospect type teams or just, kind of the elite level teams when you see it, whether it's state of Nebraska, wherever, you see a lot of freshman contribution in the sport of baseball because of what they're exposed to, usually by the time they're midway through high school. I think it's very similar.
That's a great point. Every time I've gone to a volleyball match, you're like, oh, that's a freshman? Well, they're going to be great for 4 years, and that's usually what happens at Nebraska. Volleyball Day in America tomorrow night. Kind of hard to believe it's already here, but it goes fast. Other good volleyball news. Remember, it's a volleyball state. Creighton sophomore Ava Martin is the first Big East Offensive Player of the Week of the season after helping the Blue Jay volleyball team to a title at the Reamer Club Extra Special Premiere in West Lafayette. Martin was named to the all-tournament team after posting a Big East leading of 4.45 kills per set. She got better with each match throughout the weekend, opening with 14 kills and 4 digs on 265 hitting in the win over A10 conference champion Loyola, then produced 15 kills, 6 digs on 268 hitting in the sweep of number 16 Purdue. And more importantly there, it snapped the Boilermakers' 35-match home win streak in conference play. Speaking of the Volley Jays, they come in ranked number 20 in the latest AVCA Division I Coaches Top 25 poll. Drop of 2 spots from the preseason ranking of 18, but comes after the 2-1 record over the weekend for Creighton. They're well on their way. They'll be there throughout the course of the season.
Hey, Nebraska Creighton, that non-con in Lincoln would be a good one. Really, really good.
Yeah. Oh, more Michigan stuff as they announced, the school announces that Jim Harbaugh would serve his 3-game suspension, but now Sharon Moore will be suspended on Saturday as well. It just, of course, Michigan handed down the punishment in an attempt to get in front of the potential NCAA sanctions related to an investigation of impermissible contact with recruits during the COVID-19 dead period. Harbaugh and Moore, rising star in the coaching ranks, will not be on the sideline when the second-ranked Wolverines start the season. What will they do? It's a tough opponent.
I think they're going to be just fine against East Carolina. That's the first one, right? Yeah.
Hey, unless Jeff Blake walks through that door.
You know what is amazing? Is Michigan distraction proof? They've had a lot
It
of
seems like
Michigan football has had a lot of distractions like in the last 3 or 4 years, either from administration to in the football program. Remember the whole COVID year?
Yep.
And now some of the fallout from what Harbaugh was doing. And then what Harbaugh kind of brings attention, he can't get out of his own way. They might be distraction proof because they've only gotten better.
Yeah, that's
last couple of years.
crazy.
Michigan football is one of the best programs in the country without any noise in the playoff. Michigan, as quirky as Harbaugh is, he might have a program that is distraction proof.
Which is interesting because usually, when you see a coach, I thought of this yesterday when he was making his plea for paying players and getting to,
after he said he was mafia'd.
Yeah, exactly. That there's one thing that kind of rings true is whether you agree or disagree or you're just indifferent to what he's saying and you're just chalking up to it's just Jim Harbaugh spouting off. Like, this is why he could. I thought of that as a recruiting opportunity right there for him. For a guy who advocates for the players, a guy who advocates for these guys getting a piece of theirs. And then you think about what you just brought up about, is this program, are they kind of distraction proof? Well, they continue to recruit extremely well. And the tone that he sets, I think internally, is still pretty solid compared to maybe externally what he puts out there and the different things that kind of surround Michigan's football program. I think they're pretty locked up there internally. And I think a lot of it comes from, some of it Jim Harbaugh, but I think a lot of it also comes to the guys that they're recruiting too. They've continued to do that. And I think he continues to show that he is a big supporter of the student athlete, which I think goes a long way when it comes to those guys.
The comment you're referencing, I've heard people comment it's a slap on the wrist. It's more like a baseball bat to the kneecaps. All right, way to be dramatic. He said an analyst will be elevated to fill Sharon Moore's spot on the staff in their game against the Pirates of East Carolina on Saturday. Finally, somebody called the wambulance because Texas coach Steve Sarkisian said he was a little surprised by recent comments from Brett Yormark, who publicly told Texas Tech coach Joey McGuire, Garrett's dad, that he better take care of business against the Longhorns. The Longhorns will host the rival Red Raiders the day after Thanksgiving in their final Big 12 game before departing for the SEC. Tech beat Texas last year in Lubbock 37-34, an upset that Yormark referenced last week while speaking to the Red Raider Club. When asked Monday about Yormark's remarks, Sarkisian joked that the reporter was trying to get him in trouble before responding, saying, I got a letter from the commissioner about sportsmanship the day before that speech, so I'm trying to figure out what we were promoting to our student athletes to go say those type of things. I'm guessing he's not going to have his Thanksgiving dinner with us the night before the game. Maybe he'll go to Whataburger. I mean, no judging. Inside the Texas locker room, the message this spring has been to embrace the hate that the Longhorns know they'll face from hostile crowds. Texas Athletic Director Chris Del Conte has been vocal about it as well, including responding to a fan that sent him a photo of a T-shirt mock-up with that mantra. I'm sure they'll have lots of those shirts being worn in Austin. We'll probably be taking them off, too. Game time temperature is supposed to be 101.
All right.
2:30 game against Rice.
Yeah, I still thought that was really funny what Brett Yormark said. Being honest.
Yeah. Do the horns down. In fact, you get an extra 15 yards if you do the horns down.
Will they be lenient on that this year?
Absolutely. Everybody.
The officials?
Everybody.
I didn't see it. Sorry.
Oh,
I know the SEC.
I
know what the SEC
old
stance
habits
on
die
that,
hard
but,
with the officials.
Yeah. I don't know.
They do like giving Texas calls. BCS, dollar signs.
Until you're leaving.
Thanks, Jimmy. Sam McEwen's coming up here in a little bit on the stream. A couple of questions here. I'm _all_N.
Nice.
Let's see here. What good question is? We'll pose this to you. Slightly tongue-in-cheek here. Are there any right ways left to hand them out, or is everything wrong in some way? This is about the black shirts.
I think the right way was the way it was done yesterday.
Like, could Rule got away with not handing any out because he doesn't know what guys are going to do?
Yeah.
He could.
He could. I don't want to say I was surprised that he handed him out because I know he was asked, even a week ago. But let's say he was undecided as of last week. I think he could have got away with it.
Jay says Ted Carter to Ohio State. Now, Ellie French to Wisconsin, not good. People don't know this, but they are not related. Ted or Ellie.
Yeah.
Or their departures. But yeah, Ellie French. So it was about a month ago that she got the job in Green Bay. I think her ultimate goal, and because of how her talent, I think she would love to be like the NFL Network. She wants to go cover an NFL team. And so she goes to Green Bay.
They have one.
I think weird world we have a weird world in radio and TV. I think where she's going, Matt who was in Lincoln, that used to be his old job, and he left. And so now Ellie is going to Green Bay.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate because she's been good to Happer Show, and I enjoy working with her whenever I see her out and about. But yeah, we've had some. See, this goes back to I should have a media column in the World Herald.
Yep, you can follow.
I'm going to ask Sam that when he joins us next, because I can tell you. So Channel 6 has got a brand new sports director because Joe went back home to Columbus, I think he's from Columbus, either from Columbus or Toledo, but he's gone back to Ohio and he's already working in
Cleveland
Columbus.
Fan.
So, and I felt bad for Grace because she was a one-man band, and we're in the middle of fall camp, and she's at Big Ten Media Days, and she's running all over the place, and with the help of Lauren from Channel 8, who is also really, really talented. So Channel 6 needs a new sports guy, and a guy named Clayton is their new sports guy. He was on their Friday Night Lights. I saw him for the first time this past Friday. which, you have to take a back seat to Webb's because Weber steps in. All of a sudden, he's still doing the highlights.
Yeah.
That's Dave Weber.
Yep.
But he seems like a really good guy, really talented. And then maybe Andy will talk about this a little bit later when he joins us. They've got 2 mats. So the paid TV sports department, which in this size market, having 3 full-time people is pretty impressive. But that's the commitment that KTV has made to sports, and they're all really good. You got Andy, and then now you got 2 mats.
Mat 1, Mat 2.
That could be a band that could play at the Down Under on Friday nights on Leavenworth.
The Andy and 2 mats?
Andy and 2 mats.
Andy and his 2 mats. Yeah, I think that's
good promo.
Yeah.
So hopefully I answered the question that Ted going to Columbus and Ellie going to Green Bay.
It's not connected.
They are not related.
Yeah.
But it's all downhill, man. There's just people just leaving right and left. Nobody wants to stay in Nebraska except for Rule.
Good, talented
That's
people.
the takeaway here.
Yeah.
You guys think I'm joking here. I want you to think about this. When Thursday night starts, will Matt Rule be here longer than the full season tenure of Mike Riley and Scott Frost, which is 7 years?
Guarantee you freak somebody out now that's like, oh, he's right. He could go insert place here.
Well,
we've only had that one time since T.O. retired. Will Nebraska finally have a football coach that will be here for the full extent of his contract?
Could you get someone here for have a decade? Gotcha. That'd be amazing. I'm not ready to go in on that though. I'm not ready to say
I will. Yes, he stays.
Jimmy, good. I like Jimmy.
He stays.
Jimmy, I like you go to the edge of the cliff and you put your foot out there and then you pull it back.
He stays.
Go, my friend.
Matt Rule stays for in fact, I'll go further. He retires at Nebraska.
Now I think you just jumped off the cliff.
Well, he won't go to the NFL.
I hope you have a parachute.
He won't go to the NFL. He did that already. So where else would he go? I know there is one school.
I'm just not. No, I can't go there.
But I can't picture that.
I can't say he lasts 7 years because
prefacing this. Okay, go ahead.
Because I do think that at some point there is going to be the one job that I think everybody keeps their eye on is Penn State. But I do think that would lure him away if and when that comes open. And I think 7 years, there's a lot that could go wrong there at Penn State, at least up to their standard. And Matt Rule would be their guy. I don't think it's because Matt Rule gets fired.
No,
I will say that.
I don't think so.
I think it's because he goes to a different place.
The rebuttal is there's a lot of things that could go right in Lincoln where he could be like, well, I like it here.
Bam, Jimmy. There you go. I like it. Jimmy, you should get in politics. You're playing both sides of the fence. I will say this. Matt Rule will be here at least 10 years.
Okay.
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
Unless things are sideways and the bottom falls out and you have to go and hire Luke Fickell or Lance Leipold. But Matt Rule will be here for 10 years. So to answer that question, yes, Nebraska, for the second time since T.O. retired, will have a football coach that has been here longer than 7 years, which is the combined tenure of Riley and Frost in full seasons.
I hope you're right.
I think it's a great fit for both sides.
Sam McEwen, he's a great fit.
I agree.
When we talk on Tuesdays, we will discuss many things from Nebraska Volleyball Day to the Nebraska-Minnesota game to the upcoming season. All of that with Sammy Mack is next on Mornings with Sharp and Handley and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, guys, we're 2 days away for Nebraska, Minnesota, so make your game plans now at DJ's Dugout, where they got 7 convenient locations. You can gather with family and friends. Nebraska games, college football, pro football, there is no better place to watch than DJ's casual and comfortable atmosphere. Great food and drinks, voted Omaha's #1 sports bar. Great media walls. There is not a bad seat in the house. DJ's is truly Omaha's own iconic sports bar. So make your plans. Nebraska, Minnesota, Thursday at DJ's Dugout. Dig in at the Dugout.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
The cigar enthusiasts at Hearth Cigars and Pipes are a pretty diverse bunch of humans. Some enjoy an adult beverage or two, others pass the time with a competitive yet friendly game of dominoes. Still others enjoy shooting some pool downstairs, while more than a few are just satisfied with each other's company. The common thread with all of them is the awesomeness that is their favorite cigar from the humidor. Hearth Cigars and Pipes, just off the 48th Street exit from I-680 at the corner of Mormon Bridge Road and McKinley, and at hearthcigars.com.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hi, this is Kathy Kenoyer with Kenoyer Garden Center. The beauty of fall is in our greenhouses, featuring a variety of Kenoyer-grown fall product that will allow you to create a gorgeous fall container or arrangement. Come join us for our fall open house September 2nd and 3rd and enjoy snacks and refreshments. Whether it's home decor, fall annuals, perennials, or shrubs, we will help you beautify your home. Located between Highway 370 and Cornhusker on 66th Street in Papillion.
At Kenoyer Garden Center, everybody's got a green thumb.
Open daily, 10 to 6.
Hey folks, is your concrete in need of repair? Kent Pavelka here to talk about your local concrete experts and a Best of Omaha winner, Everlevel Concrete Repair. They can completely restore and repair your concrete at a fraction of the price compared to replacement and offer long-term transferable warranties. I'm so glad I chose Everlevel for my driveway. There's a reason they're a Best of Omaha winner. Give them a call for your free inspection. That's Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Here's today's Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Husker head coach Matt Rule commented on what he thought was the number one place of improvement for his team during the fall camp.
Football IQ and intelligence, situational football. When I first got here, it was kind of like, like we first got started, kind of like, hey, just let me ball, let me play, let me do my thing. Like, there's really no doing your thing when you play against good teams, right? It's like executing in the moments and the situations and matching each moment with excellence.
Rule said he can't wait to be at Memorial Stadium in front of Husker fans, but he loves being the away team.
I love to be on the road, okay? I love being on the road. I love being in the hotel. I'll make sure Julie understands. I love being at home, but I love being in a hotel bed. I love being around the guys. I love everyone seeing the guys in the elevators. We come down the elevator. I love, we go see a movie. I love going to the movie. I just love being on the road and having it just kind of be us.
For The Zone, I'm Matt McMaster.
The Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Attention all you Husker football fans. This season, get ready to cheer on your Huskers like never before. Tickets for Less is offering an exclusive deal that'll have you jumping out of your seat. Use the promo code THEZONE and save big on Husker tickets for every game, home and away. From the electrifying home opener to intense conference matchups, Tickets for Less has you covered. Don't miss a single moment of the gridiron action. Visit ticketsforless.com today. Use promo code THEZONE and secure your seat to witness the Huskers live on the field this season. Hurry, this offer won't last forever.
1620 The Zone at 1620thezone.com. Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
All right, time for Sam. Sam McEwen of the World Herald joined us. I said this to Amy down in Lincoln yesterday. Kudos to you being a sports editor and everything else you do. It's always one of my favorite Sunday papers of the year when you guys have your college football tab. I know a lot goes into that with the layouts and all of that stuff. So kudos to you and your colleagues. Another fine edition came out Sunday morning.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been, I do some of that. Obviously, our team, one of our editors, Kristen Donovan, puts a lot of that together. And so she deserves a lion's share of the credit. But yeah, I mean, we try to have fun with our section. We're not trying to be too serious. Lord knows we write enough about Husker football in August. So thank you for saying that.
Hey, I know yesterday with Tony White speaking, and then today with Matt Rule, media are down around Memorial Stadium. So you get a look inside to see what's being built and how cool that is of what's going to happen tomorrow night in a 90,000 seat football stadium. What do you think is the lasting impact of tomorrow surrounding Nebraska volleyball and Nebraska athletics?
I think it's that the nation will have a better understanding for everything that this state and that program is about. I think it's going to be sort of that, like a touchstone moment where people can kind of look back at it and say they did that, and that's kids can dream. Coaches can point to it. They can probably try to do it again sometime. Only do that with a match that's off the charts important. Nebraska and Texas in that stadium would be pretty cool. Nebraska UNO is going to be very cool. But like what you want to see is a four-team tournament one day where they're able to do it and people show up for it. Give me Nebraska, Wisconsin, Texas, and you can name a fourth team, Louisville, whoever. That would be something to see. And so maybe there's an opportunity to do something like that going forward. But the sport of volleyball needs it. Volleyball is a hell of a sport, and it's a lot of fun to watch. It's a little long. They need to figure out a way to get that, to get some of those matches down consistently to 2 hours. There's things that I think they could do. But it's a hell of a sport, and it doesn't get enough credit and enough notoriety nationwide because ESPN negotiates the contract within the NCAA's, package of NCAA championships instead of separating volleyball out. And maybe this is something that gets NCAA volleyball to be its own thing versus being, lumped in with track and some of the other sports. Volleyball deserves more notoriety, more visibility, and hopefully this brings it to the table.
Well, and Sam, I think there's going to be a lot of national eyes on this one too. And I'm curious if you feel, and with a lot of the strong volleyball programs, Wisconsin's already, hinted that they want to do something like this too, but like some of the other strong volleyball programs that have a fan base that you could, kind of morph it into a, opening week of football as well. Do you think that there's going to be a lot of eyes to watch it just from an overall product standpoint, how it looks, and a lot of people maybe trying to take what Nebraska is doing, and we'll see more of these in the future with other schools?
I hope so. I hope hopefully enough people watch it on BTN. Not everybody has BTN, but hopefully enough people watch it. I don't know that a lot of schools will try to do this. I think they'll probably come to Nebraska and say, what did it take to do it? And Nebraska will be really honest about what it took. And I think a lot of schools will be like, maybe not. Yep. Maybe not for us. But, I think it also just, underlines and under the importance of the event. And it also, underlines how Nebraska, the state, supports women's athletics, how Nebraska, the university, supports it and belongs inside the Big Ten. I mean, there's a Big Ten branding element here too. I mean, I'm sure the Big Ten they'll be here, they'll be proud. NCAA will be here and be proud. This will be a good moment for the NCAA. They don't have a ton of them, and this will be one. And so yeah, I mean, I think there's schools that may look at it and try to give it a go. There might be some schools that, turn it down too. I don't know if Wisconsin could do this. I don't know if they want to do it. But that's probably the other state you think of when you think of a state that really supports volleyball. That's the other one I think of is Wisconsin. So maybe they'll try it.
Hey, this question is going to probably give us a little inkling into how you think Thursday night's going to unfold. And I have a follow-up to it. What does this feel like to you in like the number of possessions? Like how many possessions do you think Nebraska will have on Thursday night?
Great question. I mean, you'd love to see 12. I don't know if it'll be that. You can usually get that. Even in the game against Minnesota. So, 10 to 12, I would say. I don't think you're probably going to go above 12. Could be 10. I don't know what Nebraska's recent high is. But yeah, I would say 12 is a number to consider.
So what does your gut tell you will be the offensive game plan? Because I think they're going to try and shorten the game, but then, I was thinking about 9 possessions. But what do you think? What's your gut tell you in all the intel you've gotten over the past month? What Satterfield and Rule will try and do on Thursday night with offense?
Well, I think a couple of things. So first of all, they don't know for sure if they can run the ball with the running back, but they're going to try. I think they want Jeff Sims to tuck it and run, when he's dropping back to pass and nobody's open. I think it's legitimate concern who's going to get open. How's Minnesota going to come out and play it? Are they going to come out and try to, get up in Nebraska's face and say, get open, good luck? Who's getting open? I think they'll try to get the ball to Billy Kemp. But Billy's gonna be a better player if somebody on the outside can shake free. So I think there's a desire, I think, to run the ball, to play action off of that, to bootleg, to throw it, to get some RPOs going, try to get Jeff Sims some simple throws. I don't know that it'll look a ton different from Minnesota, except I think the diversity in the run game will be a little bit more. Question is, how many points does that produce? And how many times do you run your quarterback? And if you're in a game, there's always these contingencies. If you get in a football game and it's 16-13 in the fourth quarter, and you feel like you got a chance to push the gas pedal all the way down and win the game, then you do what you got to do. And that would mean running Jeff Sims as much as they got to run him in order to win a football game. So, I'm sure they go in with an ideal plan, but a lot of that stuff gets thrown out the window if it doesn't go the way you want.
Sam, and last week we talked about the defensive line a little bit. In this matchup in particular, with what Minnesota does, what they do up front, it's no mystery. What's your anticipation on how this defense holds up against the run of Minnesota and what we, kind of think we know with this defense?
Well, Minnesota could do a lot of different things. I mean, I think part of what's going to happen is Minnesota is going to try to make a calculation that says, okay, we have a large offensive line. We're going to try to run it, and we're probably going to try to use our large people on their smaller people and see how that goes. And Nebraska is going to try to counter with an aggressive defense that honestly runs underneath blocks. I mean, that's what TCU has been really good at that for years. And when I say running underneath blocks, if you're running power plays, you're running underneath the poles and you're getting there before the puller does. You're running, if you're running, zone stuff, you're trying to gash it, get guys off track, things like that. Certainly, I think that's something Minnesota can't really change what they do in order to account for what Nebraska is going to try to do. They just have to do what they do and see how it goes. I'm guessing Minnesota will hit a few runs. At the same time, I think Nebraska will probably make a few plays in the backfield. Minnesota's pass game is not really different. What I would say is that, they're going to put him in the shotgun. He's going to have these long, not quite Wake Forest long reads, but long reads. Then pull it, throw it. You've got to be on top of that stuff. You've got to know where your guys are at. Your defense needs to know what's going on. And then they're going to move him outside of the pocket. Tanner Morgan didn't really do that, but they'll move him outside of the pocket, shorten the field, half the field, try to get that tight end on the move. He's a great player.
Yes,
Nebraska doesn't necessarily have a great answer for him. So Nebraska's just going to have to – they're going to have to try to make some plays, and then when Minnesota decides to throw the football, you just got to know where everybody is. And they've got good receivers, and you're going to have to try to cover them.
Hey, give me and I don't want to get into he didn't get a black shirt because he's going to play on Thursday night. What's your expectation, or what is the ceiling for an MJ Sherman season?
Good question. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a guy that can help his NFL draft stock. I think he's probably a 2-year guy at Nebraska, but he can certainly help his stock by having a season where he averages 4 or 5 tackles a game and has 6 or 7 tackles for loss over the course of the season, a couple of sacks. I think he and Borders are decent pass rushers. I don't know that they're elite per se. We'll find out more probably on Thursday. So yeah, I mean, I think he's a guy that can definitely push for playing time, average 4 or 5 tackles a game, and even become the starter. I mean, I think probably up until the last couple of weeks, he probably was the starter. I think the consistency needs to be there. I think the thing that you get with Borders is Borders knows kind of where to be and what to do at all times. And this is a defense where you've got to execute that part of it well. You got to execute that part going 100 miles an hour, but you got to kind of know where you're going because they're going to do some things. They're going to go some places on defense, move guys around a little bit. You can't fit that stuff wrong. You have to execute it the right way. So I think Borders will, he'll be there, but I think Sherman might play on the second drive. Henrich, we'll see. He's probably more, game time kind of decision. But he's probably going to play. He's tough, what else? I mean, I think there's a lot of guys that are going to play in that defense.
So guys,
they're going to probably play 20 guys. Yeah.
Okay. So let's incorporate the entire team. And I want to go back to something. And you've been pretty consistent in the offseason, and you've had questions about how good this roster is in terms of talent to be successful. Has your opinion changed at all through a month of August leading up to game week?
Not really. I think, the question mark at nobody really surged out of the gate and really took the kicker job, and so if you're going to play a bunch of close games and you're just not sure who's going to make a kick, that's a concern. I mean, I think that's one thing you gotta chew on a little bit. There's probably going to be in a couple games this year where a field goal is really going to help, and I don't know that Nebraska feels great about, them making it. I mean, I don't think they know. You don't know until they go out and do it. So I think that's a question mark. It would have been great if, one of the kickers, oh boy, an incredible camp.
Yeah.
My goodness. We think we really hit on one the way that Iowa hit on Drew Stevens a couple of years ago. But, that hasn't happened yet. We'll see where it goes. It could turn out great. Everybody can recall that I don't think Alex Henry was the team's starting kicker in whatever year it was, 07 or 08. He wasn't the starter right away. And then, of course, he went on to be probably the greatest kicker in Husker history here, Chris Brown. And so, from humble beginnings. But I think, Tristan Alvano will get a chance. We'll see what he does. And we'll see what Matt Rule says today. I'm sure he'll announce that since Ed Foley didn't want to. We'll see where it goes. But that's probably the question that I think emerged. But everything else feels about the same.
Hey, Sam, going back to the offense real quick, and you mentioned something that I wanted to get your thoughts on. Billy Kemp, if there's to be a complimentary piece, is it just because it's been such an odd season last year? It came out of the gate. Isaiah Garcia Castaneda comes out of the gate, makes a couple plays, but then, you got some drops. He then all of a sudden leaves the team. Do you feel like he could be, especially depending on where Marcus Washington is, can he be a little bit of relief for Billy Kemp, especially early on in the season, in your opinion?
He could. I mean, yeah, I think he and Kemp kind of do some of the same thing. What would really help is if some of these outside receivers, whoever they might be, Alex Bullock, Jalen Lloyd, Marcus Washington, if they're able to get open downfield and then work, open some things up in the middle of the field, I think Kemp will have a good game and a good season. He just works too hard to not get success for that. Jeff Sims has got to throw to somebody.
Yeah.
But a guy like Kemp does need a little bit. He's not quite like Trey Palmer, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Kemp's a little smaller, and so he needs that room to operate. And sometimes you need guys on the outside that can help you. Nebraska's got to find big plays wherever they can find it. So, that may be Thomas Fedoni down the middle of the field. That could be Nate Borkircher down the middle of the field. It could be Bullock. I'm really intrigued to see how Alex Bullock plays because, how do I put this? Like, it's possible that he's Brandon Riley. I don't know. I mean, if he could be that good. Brandon Riley was good, it's also possible that he's not, and that he's, a good player, but more in the Levi Falk category, which is good, or, just that kind of thing. And so we'll see. We'll see. What I do know is that Nebraska thought enough of Alex Bullock to give him a scholarship. And Alex Bullock's not a senior. So Alex Bullock's going to be on scholarship for, the rest of his time here. And, that's a notable thing. When you put a sophomore on scholarship like that, or whatever he is, I guess for a freshman, when you put somebody like that on scholarship, you're basically saying, we think so much of you that we're willing to give up one of the scholarships we might have used in the recruiting class. So Bullock's performance and his success is obviously important, and we'll see where it goes.
That's a great point. Sam, we appreciate it. Enjoy safe travels up to the cities, and look forward to your coverage on Thursday and beyond.
All right, take care.
And so Sam McEwen of the World Herald dropping a Levi Falk reference on the show. That'd be the first of the year. Ironically, a Minnesota kid.
Hey, I see what he did. He probably did it intentionally.
Here's whoever is kicking, and I think it'll be Alvano. That'll be announced today. You got to be ready for, sometimes the wind can be a little tricky there at Old Huntington Bank. You got that open end zone that looks at Mariucci Arena. But the biggest thing I got to tell kickers, because I've been there, is you got to prepare yourself mentally when you're kicking into that end zone and you're lining up for a field goal, and all of a sudden, the video board puts up the dramatic gopher.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the gopher appears, and you're getting ready to kick, because it can be intimidating. I don't know how many gophers that you've encountered,
not
especially face-to-face or on a 50. That's probably 250 years. Yep. I mean,
it's over.
That gives you the yips.
It's Goldie. It's not just. Is that what they play when the gopher shows up?
You don't get the sound, but you get him.
Yeah.
What was the guy's name for the Vikings? That
Blair Walsh.
Blair Walsh.
Oh, yeah.
Man, they should have put that up for him.
Had a reverse effect on it.
They'd still be playing.
Yeah.
God, that day was cold.
Yeah. Not to Bud Grant, rest in peace.
Yeah, they put the dramatic gopher up there. So if I'm an opposing kicker, I'm like, maybe you're finding a place that has a video board in the end zone and somebody puts up a gopher so you're ready for it.
Do the eyes light up?
No, it just is a weird.
Just the dramatic chipmunk.
It's a weird just gopher appears on the screen, and that video board in that end zone, their only video board is gigantic.
Yeah. Can they record? Can you request that during pregame? Like, hey, can you guys put that up
they
there?
They probably could at
on
Lincoln. Like, hey, we're practicing. Yeah. I mean, not now because they got volleyball.
I feel like they should be able to do that.
They still got the goalposts up. The specialists could sneak into the stadium.
So did we? Are they keeping those up?
Every picture I've seen yesterday still has the goalposts up.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh yeah, Amy was supposed to find that out.
Yeah,
now, they haven't taken them down. And I don't think they're going to take them down because the way they put down the floor, they have a circle around the goalpost.
Well, they're waiting to take them down after the Michigan game.
Tell you, every shot I see.
Whoa!
Hey.
Wow.
Hey. That'd be something.
Drop that in there,
Nick. Act like you've been there before.
But we haven't in a while.
All right. A little bit later, Brian Christopherson stopped by. Andy Kendi. Matt Rule speaks after a morning practice. So probably get a quick little injury update. Marcus Washington, Teddy Prohaska, Nick Henrich. Also who the place kicker is going to be. And who else knows what'll happen. But that's the last time that the head coach speaks before he coaches a game at Nebraska. That's coming up close to 11 this morning. It is a little after 8. It's Mornings with Sharp and Handley with Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
Hey guys, shop during the Season of Discovery event. Check out the new Mazda CX-30 today. You're going to enjoy the sleek, stylish SUV. It turns heads on the road, spacious interior, versatile cargo space, user-friendly infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration if you're like me and you have an Android phone. It comes with standard iActive all-wheel drive that helps maintain traction no matter the destination, plus several trim options. It's going to let you get the Mazda you want with features you want. And it's now available at 2 convenient locations in Bellevue and Woodhouse Place on 144th and Giles Road in Omaha. You can shop, finance, and buy online at woodhousemazda.com or woodhouseplacemazda.com. Friendly and knowledgeable sales staff, a team that understands how valuable your time is, so they're going to offer you a streamlined purchasing experience. Chat with a sales team member online, easily schedule test drive, check vehicle availability, and more. Even customize your deal conveniently online with a variety of financing options to choose from. Woodhouse Mazda, a drive worth experiencing.
More with Gary and Nick after this on 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Backland Plumbing Time-Saving Traffic Center. We have no accidents to report at this time, but you can expect a bit of a slowdown from 94th to 90th on Dodge. Then along Highway 370, be prepared for a significant delay from 60th to 42nd. And on L, there's going to be some slowdown from 102nd all the way to 90th. As always, remember to stay safe and wear your seatbelts. I'm Chris Scott. This time-saving traffic was brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
Someone just won a beautiful new blue truck playing Trucks and Bucks 2023. So there are only 6 trucks left. Better get to a Nebraska Lottery retailer, buy a ticket, and play today. Top prize odds, 1 in 336,000.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. It will be Labor Day before you know it. If you do not have any plans, get signed up right now at miraclehillgolf.com for their Labor Day 4-person scramble. Only $320 for you and 3 others. As always, the golf, the cart, tee gift, prizes, you'll get that. Plus, you'll have an awesome time. Sign up today at the website for their Labor Day 4-person scramble, miraclehillgolf.com.
Email us on the Equitable inbox with whatever is on your mind. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can hit me up, agree, disagree, tell me your thoughts on life at Handley at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hi, everybody. Kent Pavelka here to talk about your local concrete experts at Everlevel Concrete Repair. Now, if you have cracked or uneven concrete, Everlevel can do it all with their complete repair solutions. They fix cracks, lift sunken slabs, and protect the surface, all at a fraction of the price compared to replacement. And better yet, they offer long-term transferable warranties. I'm so glad I chose Everlevel for my driveway. Give them a call for your free inspection. That's Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel. Try saying that 3 times fast.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
To go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring today.
This hour is powered by Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair, Nebraska on 1620 The Zone. Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone. Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
Halftime brought to you by Heart Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off 680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's. It's Heart Cigars and Pipes Lounge.
Hey, this isn't Darius Rucker, Wayne Wilson, or the Cadillac. They're not coming.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to make the list for the new artists.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Bring back Bubba Sparks and the world will start to be okay.
All right.
And
that seems to be a safe collection of artists that are going to have the new ESPN game day theme. Darius Rucker, Laney Wilson, and the Cadillac.
Like Darius Rucker. I think Darius Rucker will do a fine job. I mean, he is who he is.
He's a big college football fan. He's a big football fan. He's got his cock, and he loves his Dolphins.
They made him cry one time.
Lainey Wilson loves her wait, is it Ford or Chevy? Her song it might be Chevy.
I think it was Chevy on that. Yes. Yeah.
She's really good in Yellowstone.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. And now I know what you're talking about.
Are you already caught up?
Mr. Texas, you drop a y'all there?
I think I did.
Good on you.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't come out a lot.
Back to your roots.
It doesn't come out all that much. Yeah.
Blame it on
You seen Lainey Wilson in the concert coverage of her?
Yeah.
She got a big hat. She likes the shiny pants. She has a flair. She's really talented. But I don't know how this is all going to come
Is she
together.
from Texas?
You think just everybody that wears a hat and
No.
has shiny pants
Yes.
is in Texas?
Actually, yes. Big hair. Yes. Big blonde hair.
Just because there's a picture of me sitting on a horse with a hat somewhere doesn't mean we all wear hats.
No, I'm just saying. I'm curious because of the look. I feel like that's kind of a Texas female country artist look.
No. Well, she lives in Nashville. Who doesn't?
Right.
She's from Baskin, Louisiana,
Oh, okay.
which is by Texas.
Close enough. The fashion trends probably.
She is from Howard County.
Oh.
Yeah. She's really good. She's extremely talented. But she's part of the game day. I don't know what it's going to sound like. But when they start at 8 a.m. Central, they better not disappoint. But will they stick with the theme? We're coming to your city. Or be something else?
Oh, I could see that. Sure. Because when Sunday Night Football, they did.
Yeah,
they
did
They
that.
kept the song. Pink did the original song. People forgot that. Except that one year they changed it up. People were
Yes. Wait, did they change the lyrics then?
They changed the song. They
Yeah.
kept. I think. But yeah, the next year they went back.
Is it Faith and it was Carrie Underwood? Did Shania maybe at one point?
I'm sure she's down.
Okay. Yeah.
It's Friday night is a great night for football.
I know. Yeah, I feel like if you play on Friday nights, you should ask the good folks who created Last Boy Scout if you can use that. I think that'd be awesome.
Can you play one of Bubba Sparks open?
Absolutely.
Requesting for DJ Jimmy.
I actually was looking until you brought up Lainey Wilson.
I just don't know how that's all going to come together. I mean, it's very, very safe. Country artists,
right?
For the ESPN crowd, is you don't include Jason Aldean, and you're like, well, we're good. Love us and Lainey Wilson. All right, you got some Bubba?
We have to wait for that.
What if we had? Would Jelly Roll be a good candidate?
Yeah,
I think Jelly Roll could be fine
because he does sing about throwing up prayers, like Hail Marys.
Yeah, Hail Marys, yeah.
And the next thing you know is they showed the BYU Nebraska 2015 game. Or I got to be fair here, Nebraska Northwestern.
Good beat.
This is Bubba, baby.
Yep.
Spelled with 2 X's.
That's right. That's when you know you got 2 X's in there.
Now, is this just one of his songs or is this a game day?
He said, "No, this is ugly."
Okay. No. You got to play one of his game day opens.
It's game day.
Yeah. He was doing the game day open. Oh, yeah, you're gonna. I know. Yeah. Because you have the unedited version of the next.
I feel like something's coming up.
Yeah. No. You got to get the Bubba Sparks game day.
Oh, okay.
Because that is the best game day. Big and Rich, great. Coming to my city, okay, whatever. Get on a cowboy, ride it for a long way, which I think would be very uncomfortable to yours truly.
Yeah.
For 16 years, you had a great run. But before you came on board, Bubba was the man that woke me up on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
It's been this long. Wow. 2003.
I would like Fred change things up. Let's go back.
People need to go back and watch the video. That'll take you back.
I'm pretty sure that was
Pollock the
also
player was in there.
have that on the EA Sports college football game too.
Fabian
Almost
Washington.
positive. It was. All right.
Yeah, take me back.
Okay, so we have made it to game week. We've had a pretty good camp. No camp drama in Lincoln. Hit the breaking news. We got bad news here.
I think I know what's coming.
All right, so first to report it is on 3 that Avery Gilbert has been arrested this morning on a burglary charge. So everybody waiting for a waiver. Now there are more things at hand. Avery Gilbert was arrested and booked today in the Lancaster County Department of Corrections on a burglary charge. That is the only information that is out there, but it is in the police records, and his mugshot is now out there first by On 3. And that is the first thing that Matt Rule will have to encounter in terms of a major off the field. And it's a Tuesday. You're waiting on a guy who you've gone to bat for, and now Matt Rule will be asked about it when he speaks later this morning. But Avery Gilbert arrested on a burglary charge. No further information is out there other than the release of his mugshot and his sex, height, weight, birth date, all that kind of stuff. He was booked this morning on a burglary charge. All right.
Wow.
Well, this segment just took a turn from Bubba Sparks. That's
How
too bad.
about Tony White against Joe Rossi?
Yeah.
But I'm sure there will be, because if I remember correctly, when I was at KLIN, the police briefings are around 8:30 in the morning. So there may be more information come out of this, but he was taken into custody this morning in Lancaster County, according to police records. All right, take a break, come back. Jimmy's got an update as we roll on. Brian Christopherson, Andy Kendi. Boy, the tone has changed drastically here in the last 15 minutes. It's mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone. Hey, don't forget, as we get into the season, tonight is the time for the NFL season. Incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers, Nick, who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV.
That's right. Now's the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use. You can also check out everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/zone and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. That's FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem, call 1-800-BETS-OFF. NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends 9/18/23. No refunds, terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
Gary Sharp, Nick Handley, and Jimmy Chavez. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Mornings on 1620 The Zone is brought to you by MD West One Orthopedics, Neurosurgery, and Spine. The Connor Happer Show.
The Netflix television show Quarterback is looking for quarterbacks. Sounds like Burrow's signed up for season 2.
How about Russell Wilson?
Hey, thanks for holding the door open for me at the facility every morning. Have you ever thought about changing everything about this door, man? You just got to wake up, get your boots on the ground, stay positive, and you will open a new door to life.
Be a horrible watch. I would hate watch that.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny and warm for Tuesday. Expecting smoky haze to move in throughout the day. Watch for a drop in air quality as we head into the afternoon and evening as Canadian wildfire smoke overspreads the area. Highs in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Cater this Labor Day with barbecue from the Rib Shack Smokehouse for 108th and Q.
1620, The Zone. Traffic.
From the Backland Plumbing Time-Saving Traffic Center. We have no accidents to report at this time, but you can expect a bit of a slowdown from 94th to 90th on Dodge. Then along Highway 370, be prepared for a significant delay from 60th to 42nd. And on L, there's going to be some slowdown from 102nd all the way to 90th. As always, remember to stay safe and wear your seatbelts. I'm Chris Scott. This time-saving traffic was brought to you by Signworks.
Since 1935, businesses all around Omaha have trusted one sign company with their visual branding, Signworks. We design, manufacture, and install signs of all kinds, including high-tech message centers like the new installation at Steelhouse Omaha. We can make your sign too. Signworksomaha.com.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Creighton Sports Update. Creighton Volleyball opens their home schedule this weekend for the Blue Jay Invitational. The Blue Jays face off against Ball State on Friday night at 6 o'clock, followed by LSU at 5 on Saturday night, and we'll cap it off with Northern Iowa Sunday at 2:30. Limited tickets are available online at gocreighton.com/tickets. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Driving high will get you a DUI. And if you're wondering if law enforcement can tell you're driving high, well, everyone else can. Friends,
I can tell you drove high.
parents,
I can tell when you drive high.
relatives.
I can tell. You drove here high, didn't you?
So what makes you think law enforcement can't?
I can tell.
If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
Can't get enough Cobb's? Enjoy the Cobb's Pizza Buffet every day from 11 until 2 at Cobb's at 181st and Center. Get your eat on with Cobb's specialty pizzas, mac and cheese, spaghetti, fruit, and a salad bar. Cobb's Pizza Buffet, 181st and Center.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
Story that has come out of Lincoln, not good. Avery Gilbert arrested earlier this morning. He broke into a local business, arrested on a burglary charge. So he was booked in Lancaster County. Matt Rule, previously scheduled to speak today after a Nebraska volleyball press conference, will be up on the 6th floor just because that's where the volleyball is. It's not anything because of this. It's after practice today, but awaiting a waiver and the eligibility of Avery Gilbert. Now he's got more serious things on his plate. Unfortunate turn of events for Gilbert. Again, broke into a local business in Lincoln this morning and then was promptly arrested on the burglary charge and booked into Lancaster County. That is all we know right now. I'm not sure how much more Matt Rule will add to this when he speaks in about 2.5 hours. But again, that's the news coming out of Lincoln. That's not good 2 days before the start of the season, that a guy you're waiting on a waiver that you've gone to bat for, unfortunately, had whatever happened, and he was arrested today on a burglary charge in Lancaster County. That is all we know. We have other things to talk about. Here's Jimmy.
Yeah, the tone of that presser just changed dramatically. The Storm Chasers continue their homestand tonight as they open a series with the Louisville Bats. The last time the Bats were in town, end of May, beginning of June, Ellie De La Cruz was starring for them. Things have slightly changed for him since. Omaha comes off a split with St. Paul over the weekend. First pitch at Werner Park is 6:35. More realignment nonsense. A decision on ACC expansion is expected this week. There seems to be continued momentum towards the league, adding Stanford, Cal, and SMU to the league. 3 Atlantic stalwarts there. After a weekend of conversation, reports are that the details of the potential additions are only in pencil, but it's trending in the direction of happening. One of 4 ACC schools that had previously objected to the additions, Clemson, Florida State, NC State, North Carolina, needed to change its vote, and that is expected to happen this week. At least football is starting. Football is going to get a weird start for the Alligators of Florida. They are altering their travel plans for their team season opener at Utah Thursday night in Salt Lake, hoping to avoid Hurricane, was it Ideala? We're going to find out real quickly fast what that hurricane is because it's getting stronger. A team spokesman said yesterday that the Gators will fly to Dallas today, practice and spend the night there, then travel to Salt Lake tomorrow. Coach Billy Napier's team had initially planned to fly from Gainesville to Utah on Wednesday. The storm is expected to start affecting Florida with hurricane force winds as soon as late today, or towards tonight, and arrive on the state's west coast by tomorrow. It is the first storm to hit Florida this hurricane season and potentially a big blow to the state, which is also dealing with the lingering damage from last year's Hurricane Ian. The storm intensified yesterday. It has now become a hurricane, and forecasters predicted it would hit in days as a major with potentially life-threatening storm surges. The Arizona Cardinals have more clarity on their quarterback situation less than 2 weeks before the season opener. Kyler Murray won't be activated from the PUP list before Tuesday's 3 o'clock deadline, according to Cardinals new coach now, Jonathan Gannon. He said that yesterday. Starting the season on the PUP list means Murray will miss at least the first 4 games of the regular season. Once he's activated, he'll have 21 days to practice and be put on the 53-man roster. Otherwise, he'll have to spend the entire season on the PUP list. The Cardinals also released old friend Colt McCoy yesterday, a day before teams are required to narrow their roster to 53 players. The move comes 4 days after they traded for quarterback Joshua Dobbs. McCoy, now 36 years old, signed with the Cardinals in 2021, was the first team quarterback all spring training camp and preseason, while Arizona waited for Murray to return from ACL surgery. Oh, I thought you had something.
No. I will tell you what Avery Gilbert was arrested for here in just a minute.
Okay, well, we'll get the final lighthearted story, and we'll get to the serious stuff. Matthew Stafford stuff. Finally, the Rams roster has experienced massive turnover in the 2 years since the team won the Super Bowl, and the influx of youth has quarterback Matthew Stafford finding it hard to connect with his teammates. That's according to his wife, Kelly. She says it's kind of crazy. So Matthew's been in the league a long time. He's like the difference in the locker room has changed so significantly. They have a lot of rookies on their team. They're very young, but he feels like I can't connect. A lot of likes in there. That's according to Kelly, his wife, which she said, of course, on our podcast, The Morning After with Kelly Stafford. Everybody has a podcast. In the old days, you'd come out of practice, you'd shower, and people would be playing cards and interacting. Who knows what they're doing, but they're doing something together. Well, they just showered together. But anyway, playing ping pong, they have a tournament going on. They'd have at least be talking, but now they get out of practice and meetings during training camp. They go straight to their phones. Oh, those kids. No one looks up from their phones. Matthew's like, I don't know. Am I the dad? Do I take their phones? What do I do here? He's like, I want them to see me, not as a coach. Well, Stafford's entering his 15th NFL season, third with the Rams. The Rams enjoyed roster stability in his first 2 seasons, but several high-profile players left in free agency or were traded this year. The turnover on defense is such that defensive lineman Aaron Donald and middle linebacker Ernest Jones are the only defenders who started in the team's Super Bowl victory over the Bengals a couple of years ago. The team also selected 14 players in the draft. Yeah, they say sir to him. They basically look at him as a dad figure. So, yeah. Buy stock in the Rams right now.
All right, here is this is straight from the source. This is why Avery Gilbert was arrested. This morning at 2 a.m., Lincoln police were dispatched to a report of a burglary at SJ's Liquor and Vape Shop at 26th and O Street. Upon arrival, officers observed a glass door that had been shattered with a large cement chunk from the parking lot. Officers observed the suspect walking toward the exit carrying a bag. That's when the officers arrested 21-year-old Avery Gilbert of Lincoln without incident. He was taken to the Lancaster County Jail for burglary. The total value of the stolen items in the bag was $1,672.07. It included a variety of vape products, Delta 8, cigars, and lighters. Damage to the business was approximately $650. Avery Gilbert booked into the Lancaster County Jail on one count of burglary. So that's what happened at just before 2 a.m. this morning on 26th and O.
We go back to what Matt Rule was. You talked about a guy that was on Matt Rule's wing, was trying to advocate for him to get that immediate eligibility. And this is just one of those things that you talk about, a major, major disappointing move by someone that you were putting a lot of your support behind. And this is whatever Avery Gilbert has going on. Like this is it's just so disappointing. This is just one of those things that unfortunately we see in college athletics too, where you're putting your support in, and your teammates got your back, and everybody's hoping for the best outcome when it comes to your ability to be with them on the field, and then you put yourself in a situation like this, and there's just really no words on how absolutely disappointing this is.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. That's the latest on Avery Gilbert. Broke into a liquor and vape shop at 26th and O this morning. When the authorities arrived, he was inside and was promptly arrested without incident. 8:30, a little bit later, Brian Christopherson and Andy Kendi, all to join us on this show. Red Out Week, brought to you by Union Bank. Don't forget, coming up on Thursday, we have a special event for you. The Midday Boys, Connor and Josh, will be out at Oscars. And then USC will be out there as well, leading up to kickoff in Nebraska, Minnesota. But we will have our all-station roundtable to talk about the upcoming season. So that's something to look forward to. Hope you can join us out at Oscars coming up on Thursday here on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's, 2 locations in Benson and the Old Market. It's not just about getting a cone or maybe a couple of scoops. Call ahead and get your refrigerator, freezer filled with Ted and Wally's ice cream. We're talking about getting quarts or half gallons. All you have to do is call ahead and tell them that's what you want. Over 3,000 flavors, so whatever you're looking for, they have it. And if you have some special needs, if you're lactose intolerant or you're worried about keto, they'll help you as well. Over 3,000 flavors, 2 locations. Tell them Severe sent you.
Hey, folks, is your concrete in need of repair? Kent Pavelka here to talk about your local concrete experts and a Best of Omaha winner, Everlevel Concrete Repair. They can completely restore and repair your concrete at a fraction of the price compared to replacement and offer long-term transferable warranties. I'm so glad I chose Everlevel for my driveway. There's a reason they're a Best of Omaha winner. Give them a call for your free inspection. That's Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Attention sales professionals. NRG Media is looking for an accomplished business-to-business salesperson who wants to take their success and skills to a new level. Is this you? Our account executives work with local businesses to create marketing plans to help them get more customers. On air, digital, on-site, audio, video, it's all part of what you could sell. A sales career with NRG lets you make a real difference. Get more info and apply online at nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Your exclusive home for Royals baseball in Omaha.
Right up the middle, patient, and the Royals are winner.
1620 The Zone. Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
All right, just tuning in. Within the hour, bad news for Nebraska football. Waiting on the NCAA waiver of Avery Gilbert, and while they await that, and Matt Rule has publicly gone all in support, an unfortunate incident for Avery. He broke into a vape shop on O Street at this morning, and just before 2 a.m., the alarm in SJ's liquor and vape shop goes off. Lincoln police were dispatched while they were looking into the business. The glass door had been shattered. Gilbert had picked up a cement chunk in the parking lot and thrown it through the door, then walked through the door, and then started filling up a bag with vape products, Delta 8 cigars, and lighters. And the officers watched him walk towards them while he was carrying this bag. Without an incident, they arrested him. Now, he was booked into the Lancaster County Jail for burglary. Here's the thing that a lot of people are doing their research now on what penalties could be in play is like $1,500 is what I'm understanding is like the threshold.
Mm-hmm.
The total value of the items in the bag that Gilbert was caught with, $1,672.07.
$650 damage to the store itself. So, yeah, this is again 2 days away. 2 days away. They get this drama with it, and for a guy that we didn't even know if he was going to be a part of this team as well, but for someone that this coaching staff, especially Matt Rule, went to bat for. And we'll hear from Matt Rule today and get his thoughts on this. And then this is the other thing too. We talked about with what happened with Bob Wagner, and how Matt Rule handled that. He had a couple of things that took place that over that weekend when Matt Rule spoke. He did it. He had the Xavier Betts exit as well. That took place shortly after. How Matt Rule sort of addresses these topics, and unfortunately, coaches throughout college football have to. And how will Matt Rule make this a non-distraction for a team that all he wants is their focus to be exactly where it needs to be, and that's on Thursday. And unfortunately, these guys, they know Eric. They're they're hoping to go to battle with him on the football field too, and now they're probably wondering what the heck's going on with Eric and why this had to happen. And so how this coaching staff is able to, sort of refocus this group off of something that, again, you're closing on the 11th hour of the season. And now you have this story out there and this incident out there. And again, for a guy that we didn't know if he was going to be on the field, but just from a distraction standpoint and how this coaching staff is able to, kind of deal with this head on between how they display to the public, but also what's going on internally right now with trying to keep their heads where it needs to be right now.
This really takes away from the fun of Circa having a Brian Ferentz prop bet.
There's a Brian Ferentz prop bet now.
Yes,
I believe it. But
no, Oh, have you seen it?
No.
So Circa put out yesterday, there is the prop bet if Brian Ferentz will go over 25 points on average per game or under. Like you can get the over at minus 160. The under is plus 140 right now. I love this. I think this is a great idea. I even think Iowa fans who I'm here for you because you're going to get an exhausting season of wins. And are they going to score enough points? And is Cade McNamara going to play? So he was on the depth chart, but I also saw an interview with him and he didn't sound like the most confident guy that he's going to play this weekend against Utah State or maybe anytime soon. So you're probably going to be exhausted by all this. But even the diehard Hawkeye fan, whether he's nicknamed Iowa JD or the person that has consumed like multiple cases of the Swarm beer, you got to think this is funny. I think this is hilarious what Circa is doing. That
I love it.
They actually have a Brian Ferentz prop bet.
I want to play.
I think from a lot of the Iowa fans that I know, and then the ones that we engage with too, I think if there's one commonality between Iowa fans right now, it's their disdain or I guess maybe lack of confidence in Brian Ferentz as the OC right now. So
I bet they'd play. Why not?
I think they'd look at that and probably find it to be very appropriate.
Boys, do you not understand? There are going to be a lot of Iowa football players that are going to make a lot of money off the under.
I was waiting for that. I didn't want to steal your thunder.
There's more value on on the over. So does that more motivation?
So limit
Why are we taking a knee?
Limit 1,000. They're going to do this game by game. Limit 1,000 must play at least one game for action. Iowa football regular season average points per game. Over 25 is minus 160. Under 25 is plus 140.
Oh.
And the thing I'm going to love about this is we're going to have to track this every week through the season. Where are we at?
Well, and when those metrics were put out earlier, I mean, this is what Iowa fans, and this is what even the press is going to be tracking. Right? This is what the media is going to be tracking: is that performance week in and week out. Is it measuring up to the metrics that have been put in place for Brian Ferentz to remain the OC? Hey,
you guys have connection in Iowa. I can't do this because I'm an Iowan. Because it would not be friendly. Could we get somebody the next time that the offensive coordinator at Iowa has a press conference and then bring this up and go, which side would you bet on? Or is it too soon?
I'll text Chad Leistiko right now. So yeah, the next press conference, ask him if he would take the over of that or the under. Are you taking where the money is, or are you going with the under, the safe pick? Yeah, that's.
That's like the whole season. Your former AD did this. So that's a talking point all season long.
Yep.
For the record, I think they will go over 25 in the game against Utah State. So they got to build up some wiggle room here.
You got to blow somebody out.
Maybe they can take advantage of Iowa State. So before they get before they go to Penn State and play that game in September, they got a little wiggle room. So they stay above 25. But when it comes down and they play at Memorial Stadium on Black Friday and they're losing to Nebraska, and they have to have a drive to score points that give them the season average of over 25.
Hell, if it was bowl eligible.
And guys that are returning on the Iowa offense are like, screw that. Hey, Hartzog, you want to pass? Also, one other thing from yesterday, my takeaway, where we get closer. And first of all, we like to argue about anything, whether it be world champions or national champions or whatever Noah Lyles was saying yesterday about how the NBA guys refer to themselves as the world champions, whatever. We just like to argue. Here's one thing we can't argue about. Should Tom Allen at Indiana immediately turn in his whistle before the season begins? Did you see what he did yesterday? So, and IU, it's not like they open up with a soft schedule. And he's like the coach under the most pressure. If there's ever a thing as pressure as being the Indiana football coach. He said they have picked a place kicker, but he will not announce it publicly.
Oh, yes, no. I did see this. Yes.
So that's going to be the difference between that 30-point spread that Ohio State is favored by. That's going to be.
Ryan Day's nervous. What are they going to do?
Gosh, guys. I mean, I feel like we got a good beat on this team, but I have no idea who's going to be doing the place kicking. This is
tricky Hoosiers.
This is gamesmanship. Tom Allen in 2020 was a thing, though.
Yeah.
COVID was a thing.
Hey, well, he had a pretty good staff. I mean, you had some, some pretty good assistant coaches, and then they either didn't pan out because you were too heavy-handed, or they went and got other jobs elsewhere. And the next thing you know, everything is on you, and you don't also have Michael Penix Jr. I'm telling you, I don't know about you, but quarterbacks make this world go around. And if I got a good quarterback, I usually have a good feeling, i.e. Sam Hartman. And look at Indiana for a brief moment had a quarterback where it changed the entire dynamics of IU football. You thought that they were going places. And that year, in the COVID year, Indiana was pretty good because they had a dynamic quarterback that was a game changer. Now, would you like to rattle off all the quarterbacks since then, including the transfer that rolled into Lincoln last year that tried to perform against Nebraska?
No, the Missouri guy. I'm totally forgetting his name
years.
now. Wow. Well, who was the one who transferred to Northwestern too?
Peyton Ramsey.
Ramsey, thank you.
Ramsey got Northwestern to the Big Ten championship game.
Ramsey was solid. You had Penix, and Ramsey left because of Penix. But yeah, okay, I'm totally blanking on his name. Who was the Missouri transfer that was the quarterback last year?
It was not Jeff Handy.
Antoine Randall L.
It wasn't Corby Jones. But yeah, that was bad. And really, it was remember a lot of his in 2020. You got a lot of his like post game speeches and stuff. And you're just like, man, kids they just want to go through. They just want to go through a wall for this guy.
They were sloganeering like there was none other sloganeering,
big time. And now it's this is where I think when you do that, there needs to be obvious substance to it. And in 2020, there was, and it's why like the public sort of fell in love with Tom Allen too, because not only is it's Indiana, not basketball, but Indiana football winning football games. And you've got this passionate coach that's addressing them, and he's hitting all these buttons when he talks to them. And there's some life lessons in there. And I think kids get into that when things are going, they're going well. I mean, you're kind of in the bandwagon category there. But when you're still doing that and there's no substance to it and you're not getting the results anymore, that wears really fast on players, really, really fast. And to say, I don't know if he ever had it, but if Tom Allen say he lost his fastball a little bit would probably be a little bit of an understatement.
He didn't even talk to us at Big Ten Media Day. Usually he talks to everybody. He didn't talk to anybody.
Well, he didn't want to reveal anything.
Oh, it was really awkward. So we were set up next to like an Indiana news network. I mean, we're in Indianapolis, and they brought him early, and those guys didn't show up on day 2. And Tom Allen just kind of stood by the table. It was really, really weird. Connor Bazelak is the quarterback.
Bazelak, thank you.
That's
they didn't want to reveal anything.
That's a fun game to go back and look at the box score and the remembrance of that Saturday night game where there was like Nebraska looked good right from the jump. Casey hits Oliver Martin like right away, and Nebraska's up 7-0. And then look who got hit in the end zone and fumbles, and it's 7-7. But that was also the birth of
oh, yeah, that's true.
What the hell? Just throw it down there. Trey Palmer is somewhere.
Yeah.
And I kind of cleaned that phrase up because Thompson, and he had the 71-yard pass to Trey Palmer. That was also the game that Malcolm Hartzog, people are like, who in the heck is 13?
Yep.
That is Malcolm Hartzog. There goes that man. And then Nebraska to finish the game had a quote unquote 4-minute drive. And you're like, whoa, Mickey.
Yeah.
That was the day that there was a lot of momentum for Mickey.
Yep.
Like, okay, all right. They finally been able to put their feet on the ground. Things are looking okay. That game, that was fun. It was a night game. People had fun. You celebrated.
Yeah, because
at the expense of Connor Bazelak, who got absolutely crushed. And then you went to New Jersey and you were feeling great.
Oh, yeah.
Then you went to Purdue and only lost by 6. And then there was not a win until the end of the year.
And that game,
couple weeks.
That game, I remember the conversations following it with Mickey as well, because it had a good start, then the oh crap moment with Chuba getting sacked, and to say, you give up the ball, all of a sudden it's 7-7, and then you get the comeback, and then you get the finishing the game off, which we hadn't seen in a while, which all of a sudden showed some mental toughness. And well, what's changed between now and the previous few years? Well, the guy in charge. And so, well, Mickey's got to be the guy. And then, then you get the game against Rutgers as well. You're like, hey, quick turnaround, kind of unusual circumstances. The one thing in that game that stands out, and I know you're going to probably claim because he's your guy, Anthony Grant. Literally, I mean, basically, he assaulted a player on the field
in the game in New Jersey.
Yes, in New Jersey, he
hit stick, broke dick.
Oh my gosh, the guy! If he didn't soil himself, more power to him, because that was
very Greg Jones.
I feel like you lose control of a lot of bodily functions when you get hit that hard, especially when you're trying to tackle somebody and Anthony Grant just
it's bad when the whole crowd
him.
just gasps at one time.
Yeah,
we had one of those in college where
that game was so brutal. Is there any game that Nebraska and Rutgers play that is
No.
not just a brutal watch?
The Champions Week one. Oh my gosh, that Friday it was freezing cold out. Again another Friday night game, and Adrian was it was like Adrian had money on Rutgers in the first half, and then second half it was good. Adrian,
that's the next state.
Ed writes in the Equitable Bank inbox asking for a sports book. Is McNamara going to play? Well, if I haven't seen if it's finalized or not, but the discussion of the Big Ten that the injury reports have to be out there, isn't it on game day 2 hours before kickoff?
Yeah, 2
availability
hours.
reports.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to know if McNamara is going to play against Utah State. I know he was on the depth chart. I know he returned to practice at the end of last week.
Yeah,
but he did an interview, I think, with their own like not Iowa media, but their own athletic department. He didn't seem super confident if he was going to be back out on the field. John writes in the situation involving Avery Gilbert that if you are just tuning in, let me give you an update on the Nebraska tight end who was awaiting a waiver from the NCAA, and he's still awaiting the waiver, but now he's got more serious things. Before 2 a.m. this morning, the Lincoln police got a call that an alarm had gone off at SJ's Liquor and Vape Shop on 26th and O. As they arrived in the parking lot, they noticed the glass door had been shattered with large cement chunks from a parking lot. As they went inside of the business, they saw 21-year-old Avery Gilbert. He was walking towards them. He did not put up an incident. He was holding a bag. He was taken to Lancaster County Jail for burglary. Total value of the items in the bag, $1,672.07. Vape products, Delta 8, cigars, and lighters. That came out within the last hour. John writes in, Nebraska's had this happen in the past and did not handle it well. This is John's opinion. They need to suspend Gilbert immediately and get him away from the team. I know people are going to say that he needs to be around the team to help him out, but he has been around the team, and the team is going to and the team was going to bat to try and get him eligible after he transferred to his third school, and he still did what he did, give him the support he needs from staffers and administration, but get him out of the locker room and away from the players immediately. It's John's email into the Equitable Bank inbox. Again, it's a normal day, so Rule was going to speak no matter what, but this is now just a question that he will be asked about. And, I got to imagine, I think you kind of alluded to it, Nick. I think Matt's coach Rule is going to be extremely disappointed.
Yeah.
Extremely disappointed, and probably make the transition to find a solution for, first and foremost, Aric, and then what it does to his football team. Now, I know how he will handle this from the football perspective. They move on. They're not going to have one incident affect all the work they put in to get ready for a start of a season that begins in 2 days. But I think he will find a solution for what is best for Aric. But he's taken him under his wing. Like he is not only publicly gone to bat for him, but they put a lot of things in place for Aric so that he's comfortable here. And then to have him have a misstep, I think you will hear in his voice disappointment, like some major disappointment, but he's got to move on. And he'll do that just like he did with Bob Wagner. He will move on quickly. He will address it, and then he will move on. But in this case, just like Bob and hiring him, Aric, he really, really almost adopted. So we'll that's Rule is scheduled to speak after John Cook and more on volleyball day in Nebraska about 11 o'clock this morning. So I'm sure that Connor Show will carry that. Before we go to break here, because we got Brian Christopherson on the other end, you guys want a Scott Frost story or no?
Always.
Yeah. Really?
Lighten things up a little.
Yeah. I mean,
how is that going to lighten things up?
What's the context?
Have a little chuckle.
Okay, so Central Florida is doing a retrospective on the 17-18 run. So the undefeated teams that were really, really good at Central Florida. So they've talked to Heupel and they've talked to Scott Frost. Are you guys sure you want this? Because he's asked about the Nebraska job.
I'm all in.
Yep.
Really?
All ears. Yeah.
Who Scott's asked or Josh has asked about the Nebraska job?
After the Avery Gilbert news, come on. That's this has to come down a little.
So this is not anything new. I've talked about it on the air. It was an 11th hour thing for T.O. to convince Frost to come back to Nebraska because Frost was openly asking people, can you win at Nebraska? I mean, he asked a couple of local coaches who know Nebraska football really well, inside and outside. Do you think you can win at Nebraska? And this was on a Thursday before he was announced on a Sunday. So that's nothing new. We talked about that on the air there was a little bit of hesitation to come back to Nebraska, but the final thing was the TO 11th hour call to say, hey, you basically got to come home. So Frost has said another one of the reasons that he came back to Nebraska is his dad wanted to see him coach at Nebraska. Now, Frost's father, Larry, passed away in 2020, but his father really wanted to see him coach at Nebraska. And Scott said, well, this might be, the best opportunity. I don't know if it's the last opportunity, but it might be the best opportunity. So that also weighed into it. And he also gives you the impression in this interview that he really never wanted to be home. He never wanted to come back here.
I could see that.
I know that for a fact. That's well documented.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. We talked about this on this morning show, almost from the jump of the hesitancy of what you're about to encounter. And I know as we get ready to start a new era, and I'm not dumb to believe that we're just going to close the Scott Frost era and you move on, you talk about Matt Rule, because hell, we still talk about Callahan around here. With his situation, if he got a do-over, do you think he would take it to come here or do something different?
I still like to think that Scott Frost, for all that's said about him, I think he's somebody that maybe still looks at it as what he could have done differently with this job. So it's hard, especially with a lot of those forces at play. Had his father still been around, and the influence of Tom Osborne and people that mean a lot to him as a man and as a coach, I still think that that's a pretty strong pull. But I also think if you're able to have the do-over, I don't necessarily know if you take something different. I think you go about it differently.
I will tell you, if he had a do-over and came back to Nebraska, it'd be no different. He doesn't have the tools in the toolbox to be able to be a head football coach at Nebraska. And it has nothing to do with being a former championship quarterback at Nebraska. That job is a complete different beast than anything you're ever going to encounter, because it's the lone show in a state of 1.9 million people that look at the roller coaster in the last hour with a guy that might not even play this year at Nebraska and getting in trouble, and how people are like really emotional about this. You got to have the right tools in the toolbox to be able to handle the outside stuff, the inside stuff, and make it move forward. And I don't think whether he got a do-over or spent a couple more years at Central Florida, he's just the kind of coach that doesn't have the tools in the toolbox to build a program and have people around him that he'd be successful at a place like Nebraska. Do I think Scott Frost could go somewhere else and be successful? Probably. I don't think a do-over would be any different. I think it'd be the same result at Nebraska.
Yeah, I agree that it'd be the same result. But I do wonder if he would look at it and say, if I would have just gone about it this way instead of this way.
No, some guys can't get out of their own way.
And you're right. And
even if they went differently, they'd come back to the same result. You'd still end up right back where you are.
Yeah, and that's where what reality perception is reality, and what you possess as a coach.
Here's the thing. With Scott's situation, there were probably more people that wanted him to take the job than the most important person.
Yeah. Him.
And what was the result?
Very bad. Not even like, okay, very bad.
The best case scenario for him, if he were to do it over, is that Nebraska was doing well, so that they weren't even looking for a coach, and he stays at Central Florida and does his thing, see what happens there. Because I'm with you. I think he could have success somewhere else.
He had a good thing going in Orlando. He really did.
They looked happy. Everybody looked happy.
The only thing new that I got out of this piece, that it's done by actually Central Florida. It's not done by media. It's actually done by the university. is I did not know how important it was for his dad to see him be the head coach at Nebraska. And he alludes to that. That's the first time that
and that's powerful.
Yep. All right, last hour upcoming on a Tuesday that has had a bit of a downer in Lincoln with the arrest of Avery Gilbert. Brian Christopherson will join us. We'll talk some Nebraska, Minnesota. I know this is the storyline, but you got to move on 2 days from the start of the season. We'll get some Gopher Husker talk with BC and Andy Kendi coming up in the last hour.
More with Gary and Nick after this on 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Backland Plumbing Time-Saving Traffic Center. We have no accidents to report at this time, but you can expect a significant delay from 94th to 75th on Dodge. Then eastbound along I-80, be prepared for some significant slowdowns from 84th Street to I-680 North. Then along Highway 370, be prepared for a minor slowdown from Richland Drive to 90th. As always, remember to stay safe and wear your seatbelts. I'm Chris Scott. This time-saving traffic was brought to you by Les Hills Harley-Davidson.
Why buy an HD certified pre-owned bike from Les Hills Harley-Davidson? How about a 110-point quality assurance inspection, a limited 12-month warranty, and a heck of a lot more? Get details at Les Hills Harley-Davidson, Glenwood exit off I-29, and at leshillshd.com.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. It will be Labor Day before you know it. And if you do not have any plans, get signed up right now at miraclehillgolf.com for their Labor Day 4-person scramble. Only $320 for you and 3 others. As always, the golf, the cart, tee gift, prizes, you'll get fed. Plus, you'll have an awesome time. Sign up today at the website for their Labor Day 4-person scramble, miraclehillgolf.com.
Shop Sid Dillon Chevrolet, Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer. Visit any of our 4 locations for your new Chevy or pre-owned vehicle or at siddillonchevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Happy birthday to us. That's right. We're turning 50 this year, and we're celebrating with you. Introducing my new birthday cake streusel, topped with vanilla cake and crunchy streusel, a swirl of white icing, and showered with rainbow sprinkles. Paired with our classic combo, the one that started it all, and your favorite one-topping pizza. Happy birthday feast. Enjoy one today. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction. Presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by J. Sennett Contracting, Tinman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, and Rotella's Italian Bakery. Immediately after the game, join the show and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction with McKeg and 1620 The Zone. Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone. Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
All right, last hour on a Tuesday with Jimmy, Nick, and Gary, and Brian Christopherson from Husker 24/7. We finally made it, BC. Welcome to game week. Oh, by the way, it's not going to be as smooth as that drive across 80 and then up on 35, it appears, after the news within the last hour.
No, that'll be part of the subjects, that come up with rules, talking to the media at about 10:30, 10:45, I guess. So that'll be something. He hadn't, even as of yesterday, I know there hadn't been finalization on that waiver, and obviously that topic is in the background now. But yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. It's hard to get into because some of those details are just sort of, I think, almost out of turn to speak about. But as someone who's struggling with some stuff, and I just hope can get things fixed. I hope Arik can get things fixed over time and find the right people to help him. But yeah, it's something that's one of those headlines that's unfortunate when it pops up anytime, but and certainly a couple days before the team's going to play.
Yeah, and Brian, we were kind of talking about this too. Obviously, the tone will be set by Matt Rule with the rest of the players of moving on and not letting this distraction affect their focus. I mean, you talk about the 11th hour of the season pretty much, and all of a sudden you do have this come up. Do you feel pretty confident with how Matt Rule, especially with how he handled Xavier Betts' departure, Bob Wager incident, and just kind of the small sample size we had here, that it'll be more of the same with Matt Rule today?
Yeah, from the football part of it, I don't think it's going to be a big distraction of the team. I don't think Arik was factoring into the plans early on, even if he did get the waiver. That was my read on matters. It was going to take some time, and it wasn't like he was part of the game planning for what they're going to do Thursday, or I don't suspect was going to be on the travel roster. So. From that part of it, I don't think it's going to affect much. I honestly don't. But yeah, it's just disappointing for a young guy that had invested a lot into himself, into the program for what they were doing, and they had invested a lot in him. And you just want a person like that you put time in, and any person that's dealing with that sort of stuff to get right. And I know he made a big mistake. I'm not trying to couch past that, but there's other factors with Arik, and I just hope it can all get squared away over time.
Hey, we've had this discussion through numerous coaches about Nebraska football establishing an identity that whether they're wearing red jerseys or white jerseys, they always look the same. And Rule says his team will play hard, and I do believe him because I think they're prepared enough where they feel confident in playing hard. And that's, he's got a new standard. That's the standard. What is, like, when you watch Thursday night, BC, and it's just the first game, what are some other expectations to build that identity that you think you'll see, regardless if it's game 1 or game 15?
A patience with the run and knowing who you are, even if on certain segments of the game it's not going exactly as you would draw it up. Just a belief in, like, this is stuff that you guys have worked on, you've succeeded on in practice, and we're going to have some stick-to-itiveness with it. No matter if the first 2 or 3 series of the game are the type where they come out and Minnesota's flying around and they kind of shut you down, there's still a belief over time you can lean on some people and get some stuff done. I think you're going to see more of that in the run game. I don't think people should take that to mean they aren't going to take their deep shots. I definitely think they do. And I think a critical component you'll want to see that needs to be a staple for this team is they've got to have somebody that can run by somebody on the perimeter. They've got to have a player or two at receiver who, even if the throw misses, you have shown you can do it. You've shown the defense that's part of your repertoire, and it's going to loosen some things up for other guys. And then, maybe Billy Kemp and Garcia Castaneda go to work a little bit across the middle of the field and stuff like that. So I think that's a really important piece. And I think it will be Thursday too, is, can Nebraska stretch the field or at least show that they're capable of it in a way that allows some other things to sort of take shape probably the way they want them to.
I know we're going to hear from Matt Rule about, who is going to be the place kicker. Is that just from how Ed Foley has talked and the overall sort of camp vibe to the kicking game itself? Are you a little surprised? Is there any concern, I guess maybe is the better way to phrase that, any concern on your part heading into Thursday?
Oh, maybe a little bit. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's just been smooth sailing there. So if you're the coaches and you've watched a camp where it's been pretty choppy, maybe it impacts you a little bit with some of your decisions when it comes to, a 40-yard kick or something like that. But then again, there's also that part where, let's say it's Tristan Alvano. He's made a lot of big kicks in his life. No, not at this level, but they've been important kicks in the games he's been in. And you got to remember, he's 0 for 0. So whatever they have written down on that chart about this guy made, and I don't know what the numbers are. Let's say this guy made 75%, this guy made 68%. I think, if you've got a kicker with the right mentality who's been working out some things, he goes into this game thinking, you know what, the slate's clean. I've never missed one in college. Yeah. And if you have that type of mindset and I think Alvano's a pretty strong-minded kid if he ends up being the guy, I give that a fair shot that he could go out there and be clutch when it counts. So I have an open mind about it, but I think it's a fair question, Nick, just because of what we've heard in the interviews, right? I mean, it definitely sounds like the last couple of weeks there's been some days where the ball just hasn't been going straight or something. So you hope that it's right when it counts.
So let's stick with Alvano. I think Nebraska has, and this isn't new, they got an all Big Ten type punter, but this is a good punting league, not just one school in Iowa City. And then I'm curious about the Johnson & Johnson combination returning kicks, and then, of course, Billy Kemp. Do you sense, and it's not just hiring Ed Foley, because we've gone through this of a full-time special teams coach or a collective effort. Do you sense a higher standard for special teams around Nebraska football than we've had in a while? And if you do, BC, what do you think that means to that third phase?
I think it's a higher standard than a lot of the Frost years. I did feel like in the last year with Bill Bush, when he started out there, I thought they were starting to trend more in the right direction, and there was a lot more emphasis on very detailed items, and I think it showed at times. But I do think it does say something to your team when you've got a full-time special teams coordinator. That's all he does. And also when, you look at the punt teams and everybody's almost in a black shirt, that's out there. Like, I think that's important to your squad, and it shows you this is how big a deal this is. And I just love the way some guys have talked about it too. Like Deshaun Singleton, when he was doing his interviews, he's like, I want to be on the field there because that could be the play that decides the game. And I always want to be out there when the game could be settled. So I've heard that from multiple guys, and I'm not saying that doesn't pop up in the off seasons of the past, but I think there is something to be said for there's just a little extra juice with them this year. I did think they were starting to get more like that last year. And I think they got some guys who are, can become fan favorites there too. Like Phelan Sanford, whether he plays in the secondary or not, which he could, like he's going to be, I think, a special teams favorite, and there's guys like John Bullock who showed like they could use that as sort of a trampoline into a season like they're having now where he's going to play on the defense, and his special teams work is what got that started. So anybody over there who's like third or fourth on the depth chart right now, they should be thinking about that. Like that's a ticket sometimes to get on a travel roster, and it's also a way to make yourself known that you love this game. You're going to put everything into it, and you're going to contribute in some way, and usually it boosts you to other things at some point in your career.
Brian, and speaking of the defense, Tony White spoke about this yesterday when asked about who's made maybe the farthest climb amongst that group, and he first mentioned Blaise Gunnerson. When I think of the five, at least in my opinion, the five like most intriguing guys to watch on Thursday to kind of see where they've come from, I would probably put Blaise Gunnerson in that top five just because we haven't seen much of him, and he looks the part right now, and he's getting the type of grades, publicly that I think would speak very well of him. Is he up there as far as the type of dudes that really could make an impact, but we're still kind of like real interested to see how that looks?
Definitely. Did you lose your voice yelling at the Guardians losing in the Twins last night?
Oh, there goes another Royce Lewis grand slam hit by Brian Christopherson.
I'm sorry. That was
hey, well played. I deserve that.
I'm sorry. No, that was a good question about that. I'll go back to the question.
Good comment.
It was very, very spot on by you too.
No, Blaise has really been a guy since he was a recruit that I think people thought like at some point he's going to matter, right? He just looks the part. He's 6'6", 265. I mean, just the total off the bus guy. He's always had these little injury things that have sort of been in the way. And I think they really got his health squared away this offseason. And Corey Campbell's been a star with those guys and the strength coach. And I know people hear that every year too. Oh yeah, they're bigger, faster, stronger. This strength coach is better than the last one. I've heard that 5 times over. But I do really think there's something to be said for the lateral movement he's added to certain guys, even coming out of the spring. I don't think they thought at that point some guys had enough of that. And Blaise Gunnerson, during his meeting with the media earlier this camp, said this is just a lot more mobile defense, and he would count himself as part of that. So we'll see if it pays off. The thing about him is he hasn't played a ton of snaps. So you've got some guys who have been around this program in certain spots for 3-4 years, but they have hardly played or not played. So you got Blaise Gunnerson is in that category. John Bullock is in that category for sure. I don't know if he's played a defensive snap. Deshaun Singleton really is in that frame too. You could say Omar Brown is at Nebraska, Northern Iowa. He played a lot. So that's what's interesting to me is kind of taking it that direction. Is you've got these guys who they should know their stuff because they've been around big time football for a while now, and yet this will be the first game for some of them where maybe they play 40 snaps, and how does that look and how do they hold up in this type of environment? So that's the big question to me.
Okay. And part of that question is, what Minnesota likes to do. They like to lean on you and they wear you down. And then you get to the second half and we see that the boat all of a sudden is lifted. So Tony White, this is a good matchup because I think you have two major up-and-comers that are going at each other on the defensive side. Joe Rossi, I really like as DC for Minnesota. He's only 44. They didn't get to the quarterback much last year, but they've been a really, really stout defense. Then you have a 44-year-old Nebraska defensive coordinator that all you have to do is look what he did at Syracuse in the ACC the last couple of years, and you hope to be in the top 4 in your own conference eventually when he gets things figured out. So I like that matchup. And we know this is probably initially and maybe all season long going to be a defensive-led team. So a long-winded lead up to this question about the 3-3-5 and whatever form it looks, you still have to stop the run. Your confidence meter, if I give you the top 6 down linemen, the front 3, weigh 310, 250, 330, 295, 265, 250. BC, how are they stopping the run?
I don't know yet. I think they're confident though that they can be pretty good against it. And I have the same curiosity about the full season sort of and the grind of it through the Big Ten. And I've said this all off season about Nebraska's D line. I love the long-term play on what they're going to be. I think they are stacking good recruits like Riley Van Poppel. Yes, please. Cameron Lenhart, Prince Will. These guys are all the perfect dudes to come and play in this league. But I do think it's fair to wonder in this first season as you're building toward that long-term thing that's going to look really good, how guys stack up. Like Cam Lenhart is looks like he's 32 years old and maybe he's just going to go out and play like a veteran. But he's a first-year freshman who's basically your third, fourth guy on the D line. As we mentioned, Gunnarsson hasn't played a lot. Raquan Buckley is going to need to be good, and he hasn't played a lot. And so really it comes down to me is like guys 4 through 7 sort of in the D line. What are they made of? Maybe they are made of the right stuff and it's going to look really good off the bat, but I have wondered about it. And this is their chance to answer the question. Kai Wallen has popped up. He was a guy that you didn't hear a lot about in the spring. He's like in the top 6. And I think Elijah Judy's still like in the equation. Like I think he does some good pass rushing stuff and all that. Just needs to be more consistent, but you might see him get a few snaps. So they are going to go 6, 7, or 8 deep tomorrow up front, and you kind of got to. But it'll be curious to look at the snap counts, especially after this first game. Like, how much do they steer away from that? Like, how many snaps do Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmacher pile up, or are those more?
And with Gary mentioned the Johnson and Johnson connection and special teams and the kick return. With Ramir Johnson's role, especially as a third down back too, if there's explosive plays that we're going to see in this game on Thursday, how many of those do you think Ramir Johnson's involved in?
I bet he gets at least 1 or 2. I mean, I don't know how many they're going to get total, but I just love what he can do as a receiver out of the backfield, and it just seems like, I'm sure this staff has detailed well some of the ways he was used when he was actually used several years ago by Frost staff. They found very effective ways to get him the ball, and you saw some clever wheel route stuff and things where he excelled at it. So there'd be nothing wrong with going back to that page and pulling some of that stuff out and having it be part of what you do. So I think he's going to be especially important. It seems like on third downs that appears to be more of his role. He's supposed to be good in pass pro and obviously can catch and all that stuff. But I definitely could see him being that guy on a 3rd and 7 situation or something where Sims checks it down and he makes the guy miss and makes a big play. And that type of play, maybe it's not a 58-yard house call,
right.
But in a game like this, that 22-yard pickup or like 16 yards when you needed 11 and you didn't think you're going to get it, but a guy made yards after contact or made a guy miss, that extra play that extends the drive and leads to points is one team's going to have that drive where at the end we're looking at it like, oh, the other team should have got off the field, but they didn't here, and here. And I think that's what's going to settle it. There's going to be that drive somewhere along the line that somebody has like that, and I just don't know which side it's going to be.
Yeah, great stuff, BC. Great stuff all camp, and I look forward to the rest of the week. Safe travels with you and the boys up to the cities.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
It's Brian Cobbs from Husker 24/7. Hey, one quick thing. We like to talk about food, music, pop culture, all that stuff. Things that, foot fetishes that some people have.
Speak for yourself.
Did you guys see yesterday? So they have a special menu in Lincoln for tomorrow for volleyball day. Chick-fil-A is in the house.
Oh.
That Charlie Colon, who was a former catcher at Nebraska, who owns a chain of Chick-fil-A's in Lincoln. Is that a big reason why Chick-fil-A is in for volleyball day? Because I don't think they're in for the regular season. Like when football starts, I don't think Chick-fil-A is in the stadium. I think that was just a specific menu for volleyball day, which includes Mike and Ike's, which is a winner.
Oh, I've seen that for a fact. Yeah, Mike and Ike's, big deal.
That is a big deal. Whoa. That's awesome.
And then the only way that Val's Pizza tastes good is when it's in a triangle box.
Oh yeah, it just hits different.
Val's Pizza, like stopping and getting it doesn't taste good to me. But in the stadium, when it's in a triangle box,
I don't mind it.
Oh, always.
I don't mind it.
Oh, it's always part of
different. It hits you different.
Yes.
Like the Fairbury hot dog or the Polish hits you different in the stadium than anywhere else.
Yeah, it's true.
Just cooking it off the stove.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing if you go to the airport and get a Godfather's slice out of the little triangular box too. There's just something different about it.
Yeah, which was made like 6 days ago.
Stop. Still tastes good. I don't care. Don't tell me that. It's like telling me Santa Claus doesn't exist.
Some people will tell you that they only eat Runzas in the stadium. That Runzas taste different in the stadium than they do when you get them out of a regular Runza.
I get that, but when we go to Runza, I cannot go away from the burgers. Burgers are really good.
I don't know how that would be the case though, because you're still dealing with the exact same, like the temperature of the bread has to be a certain temperature, the same ingredients inside. How does that taste?
Because it's a Nebraska hand warmer.
That is true.
That's what I've been told.
I mean, from that standpoint, but how does that taste different? They can warm your hand, it's fine. But once it hits your mouth, how's that tasting different?
Delicious.
I don't buy that. I think that's a myth. It is. Common myth, though, which is actually not a myth, but people say that. And going back to Godfathers, go to Columbus. Godfathers is just better.
Do Godfathers and Pizza Ranch have a competition in Columbus? Small town Nebraska. If a Pizza Ranch is there, are they battling with the local
They got a Domino's,
pizza
too.
joint? Ooh.
We got Domino's.
They have any local pizza joints?
Oh, they did. So where Shafe and I used to watch Sunday football was actually in a bowling alley bar called
Probably good
Boulevard
pizza.
Lanes. Sax's Pizza. It no longer exists, but it was
Oh yeah, Shafe's talking
phenomenal.
about
It was so good.
Was it the original pizza, or did they like reheat in a bowling alley like Totino's?
No, they made
Passed it off as their own.
made their own pizza, and it was real nice, Clark.
Yeah, I went to, and don't ask why I was there.
In Columbus?
The Logan, Iowa Country Club the other day.
The Logan, Iowa?
Yeah, nice course.
Okay.
Nice people there.
Were you trying to get a...
Don't ask.
Okay.
Just playing golf.
But they were like promoting their pizza. And so this guy got the pizza and they brought it out. And I was like, wow, that looks like some frozen pizza that was warmed up that you guys are hiding.
So like Jack's original?
Yeah, it just kind of had that look instead of somebody, back behind the swinging door.
Yeah.
That you can't see in.
Yeah.
Is, making up a pie.
Order up.
Nice golf course out there, by the way.
Never been.
Yeah. Very lovely right there in the Les Hills.
Okay.
I was on a recruiting mission.
That's what I figured you were doing.
Almost brought Grant Bricks back with me.
That's what I was wondering.
He said, don't worry. He goes, I'll be in Nebraska shortly.
Okay.
Andy Kendi, before the hour is over. Again, the news of the morning is unfortunate for Nebraska. Nebraska tight end Avery Gilbert was arrested on burglary charges this morning in Lancaster County, was booked on one count after breaking into a liquor and vape shop on O Street. All right. And again, Matt Rule will speak today. It's his normal chatter before the game a couple of days ahead. And now this is on the docket for him to address, along with some injuries, place kicker, and anything else ahead of a trip up to Minneapolis. We're back with more Mornings with Sharp and Handley and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
Gary Sharp, Nick Handley, and Jimmy Chavez. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10. On 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Mornings on 1620 The Zone is brought to you by MD West One Orthopedics, Neurosurgery, and Spine. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
If there's a snail crawling towards me inside of the Omaha NRG studio, it's not going to be any other snail. That's just the one snail.
But when Nick and I bring a bag full of snails and dump them at your feet.
I'm not working with you two yahoos anymore.
snail pickup.
I'm not gonna work with you anymore.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny and warm for Tuesday, expecting smoky haze to move in throughout the day. Watch for a drop in air quality as we head into the afternoon and evening as Canadian wildfire smoke overspreads the area. Highs in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees. The Source by your mom's house.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Savitt for Ted and Wally's. 2 locations, Benson and the Old Market. Do you have some parties coming up? Summer's all about parties, right? Whether it's a holiday party or if it's a birthday or just to get together with some friends, you want to have some ice cream in your freezer. So what you do is you call ahead. You say, I want to get a half gallon. I want to get a couple of quarts. I want a special ice cream, maybe for a birthday, like I said, or just a special occasion. You can get that from Ted and Wally's. Give them a call ahead of time so you can have that ice cream ready when you arrive, put it in your freezer, and have it ready to go for a party. And they do it again the old-fashioned way. We've talked a lot about the 20% butterfat. It just tastes different. It just tastes better when they do it that way. So head over to one of the two locations, whether it's Benson or in the Old Market. Stop by Benson, of course, and go by Taste of New Orleans and get you some great food, maybe a po' boy, and then after that, get you some ice cream as well. Or into the Old Market and get that feeling of nostalgia going down in the Old Market and having yourself some great ice cream from Ted and Wally's. Swing by today, one of the two locations, pick up some ice cream, call ahead if you want a large amount, and tell them Severe sent you.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is $50 worth of vouchers to Le Voltaire French Restaurant for only $25. Le Voltaire Pepperwood Village is a locally owned, unpretentious French restaurant serving down-home cooking with an extensive wine list and great handcrafted cocktails for decades. Whether dining with friends, clients, or that special someone, Le Voltaire will make you feel right at home.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com. Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every game with Big Red Overreaction. Presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by Chase Senate Contracting, Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, and Rotella's Italian Bakery. Immediately after the game, join the show and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction with the Keg and 1620 The Zone.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
1620 The Zone. Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
Get a full breakdown of what went right, what went wrong, or somewhere in between immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction. Immediately after the game, join the show and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly, presented by Equitable Bank and Coors Light. Also brought to you by Chase Senate, Dingman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, and Rotella's Italian Bakery. Connor and Josh Hudson, Thursday night, Big Red Overreaction, only on 1620 The Zone.
More on the arrest of Avery Gilbert, our sister station in Lincoln, KLIN. They went to the cop shop and they have talked to the LPD on the arrest. Just judging off the tone of the voice of the LPD spokesperson, the cops were at the vape shop before, and Gilbert was just in it. Like, they didn't have to go track him down. They walked in and he was standing right there.
You got me.
Before we get to Nebraska Bowl, Mike, the U.S. Ryder Cup captain picks have been released. Sam Burns, Ricky Fowler, Brooks Koepka, Colin Morikawa, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Zach Johnson, the pride of
Iowa.
Got that right. Drake University. Also, golf partner of Caitlin Clark, but not boyfriend.
That would be Connor McCaffrey.
That would be correct. Can you imagine the kids they're going to make?
Yep.
They join Cantlay, Clark, Harmon, Homa, Shoffley, and Scheffler. We're going to get crushed.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't want to be a downer here. I got an email into the Equitable Bank inbox for Nick. Sam, morning, Sam. Thanks for the email. Please let Nick know that Woody, that owns Sax's Pizza, passed away this morning after a bout with cancer.
Oh, my gosh. He passed away this morning?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Just means you had it on your mind for a reason.
I mean, he was the one that would bring us our pizza. Oh, my
God. The hell,
yeah.
Carl Ravitch?
And he had a lot of health struggles even when I was there too. Man, that's jeez.
Today?
Yeah, this morning.
Oh my gosh. Sam, thank you for bringing that to my attention. My goodness, that's awful news. And
At least you brought attention to his good pizza.
It was amazing.
And this is what I see it as. That's why it was on your mind. Because
Maybe.
Yeah. Little shout out.
Wow.
Andy Kendi from KTV. I'm going to join us. I wonder if he's already left for Minneapolis. I would. Weather up there's great. By the way, plus you can go and watch the Twins and the Guardians play.
Stop.
Royce Lewis, back-to-back days with a grand slam. Who needs Buxton? He should just quit his rehab stint to learn to get back in the outfield. Well, they're gonna win that division, and they're gonna be like a bad record.
Oh yeah, you knew that was the case. Whoever's coming out of that division, and it won't be Cleveland.
Hey, the Royals are still in.
Gonna have a bad one.
Mathematically still in it.
Yeah, they're 41-91.
Yeah, it's not looking good, but if you're looking for hope, there it is.
No, I watched the majority of the game
Yeah.
against the Pirates yesterday. There ain't no hope. I got 2 hits.
Yeah,
I got to be 5-0. I got 2 hits. 2 hits.
That's all.
And they again scored no runs for Zach Greinke.
Yeah,
he's 1-13. Every time I watch Greinke pitch, the Royals score 1 or no runs.
It's just decent. Can't help them out.
Yeah,
offensively challenged.
They're like
Very much so.
They're like the Nebraska offense of 2022. 6 times they scored less than 17 points. If you didn't know that, you know that now.
What about 09? There was an offensively challenged team too.
They only played defense that year. Here is Nebraska ball, Mike. Hey.
Hello, gentlemen.
Well, hello to you. How you doing?
I'm good. It's been a busy week. I've got a lot on my mind, but
Okay. Well, what's so busy? What's so busy about the week? What do you got going on?
Life.
Okay.
It's
Are you juggling
interesting.
relationship or what?
No, just life.
Okay. Everything good though?
Normal stuff.
Okay. How are we doing? Do we feel okay? That's the most important thing.
We're physically okay. We're
okay.
good. Worried about this team a little bit.
Yeah, there's some deficiencies.
Gary, I don't have the schedule in front of me, so you're going to have to help me walk through it.
No problem. We're gonna go win loss, win loss, win loss. We're gonna do that.
All right, let's go.
If we can,
if
we have time.
Hey, it's your show. You can do whatever you want.
No, it's not my show. It is not my show at all.
Well, wait till I go on vacation and you can come fill in.
Don't give me that opportunity. I will do it.
We'll see you here.
And I will gladly do it. And, as far as the ladies go, look, volleyball is going to be a circus, and it's going to be a needed circus, and it's going to be a distraction. And I bet Chick-fil-A is going to see 90,000 people and go, why aren't we in the stadium?
Hold on here. Did you just say ladies fireball is going to be what?
I said ladies volleyball is
Oh, I thought he said fireball too.
I was like, whoa, I got to do
holy
shots
cow.
tomorrow?
Fireball.
No.
Shot.
Here's your Chick-fil-A and your complimentary fireball shot.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Omaha stands no chance. They're going to crush them.
I don't care if it was everybody but Wisconsin would be done tomorrow.
Yeah, that might be the truth.
Everybody but Wisconsin. Creighton would even be done.
Yeah, it would be.
And I like the coach there, but they'd be done.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hello, Mike.
I thought
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
okay.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I thought we
we-
lost you there. You were doing a pregnant pause.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Now, are we going to do the schedule?
Yeah.
All right. You ready? We got to do this in rapid fashion. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So be ready. Minnesota.
Spread.
Well, Nebraska's a 7.5-point underdog.
Loss.
What'd you say? Watch?
Loss.
Oh,
Loss.
loss.
Loss, okay.
Oh, okay. Wait, no, we're just doing straight up here. We're not going to do the spread. Okay.
Okay.
Colorado.
There's no way he's bringing his son there to lose.
So you got
loss.
Whoa, 0-2. All right. This is the more I think about this is fantastic radio. Louisiana, Northern Illinois.
Okay. Win.
Okay. Louisiana Tech.
Win.
Michigan.
Loss.
Illinois.
Loss.
Okay, so 2-4 going into the first half of the year. You got them 2-4.
Yes.
Northwestern.
Win.
Purdue.
Win.
Ooh, okay. Michigan State.
Win.
Ooh.
Now you have one
Here
more
we
to
go.
become bowl eligible.
Oh, 3 games ago.
Maryland.
Loss.
Oh.
Wisconsin.
Too good. Or to his brother's too good.
Okay. Wisconsin.
One of us is going to get our coach right really fast. I don't know which one it is. I'm thinking loss.
Comes down to this.
Now to be bowl eligible, haven't we done this before? Playing Iowa on Black Friday.
What's wrong with making them as mad as we can?
You're a betting man. I'm sure you'll do it. Yeah. So 6-6.
Yes.
Okay.
Look good to you guys.
It's the whole goal is respect relevancy and making a bowl game.
I don't think there's any way Dion brings his kid to Colorado to look like an idiot.
All right. So you got Colorado going 12-0.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
but they're going to be better than people think.
I don't know that a lot of people think they're going to be good. So we're talking what, 3-4 wins?
Yeah. I don't want to play them. I don't want them on the schedule at all.
Come on.
Wow.
I didn't want them on the schedule when they came out.
You're taking your crazy pills today.
No.
Stewart gonna
I'm
walk.
tired of Nebraska being a circus for somebody else.
Well, it's only a circus because it's the first home game for him.
Right.
But you know what happens? You know how you can ruin a circus?
Give it to me.
Well, haven't you ever ruined a circus before?
Other than Vince McMahon, there's no circus I want to wreck.
When was the last time you were at a circus?
Last time I was at a circus was actually the hotel that's named twice in Vegas. I was 4.
Your parents took you to a casino when you were 4? And you remember it?
My mom spent a year in Reno
Oh, okay.
before I got here.
Okay. Now, you don't remember that, though.
I remember going. I don't remember much else.
Yeah. What'd you do as a 4-year-old there? Like play the slots?
I was just there to watch.
Yeah, okay. That's what a lot of people do when they
I
go
was just there to
to
watch. I
casinos.
don't remember what I saw.
Okay. All right. Don't lose any sleep over Colorado. Okay. It's a nice little back-to-back playing them again. It's a circus because it'll be Deion's first game. Check back with me on Tuesday when the mood is what happens, what they do with TCU. They're going to be okay. Like they're skill guys. I don't know if they will be good enough on the line of scrimmage and be able to recruit those kind of guys to play in the Big 12 in the future. But I think their skill guys will have some talent.
Okay. I will say one thing. Syracuse had their starting nose tackle was 265. We can get bigger linemen than that. Okay?
Yes, we can.
This defense could be a nightmare for somebody.
That's the goal eventually. All right.
So.
All right. Have a great day. I always appreciate the call. And have a good tomorrow with volleyball, and then of course on Thursday.
You too.
You should be full. You should be fully hussed.
I will be by the time the game starts.
Okay, that's what a lot of people
Always
say.
appreciate it, gentlemen.
Yep. Thank you. That's Mike, future fill-in co-host.
That was good. 6-6.
All right.
Yeah.
We got out the paperwork.
How great would that be to have Nebraska Ball Mike doing a show and then take calls?
That'd be amazing.
And we could
15-second delay.
We could just have some planted calls.
Yep.
Just get him all riled up.
Mm-hmm.
Just have zone people calling in.
Yeah. I think we should do this.
Mm-hmm.
Look forward to it. I thought he said fireball too, by the way.
Anybody going to go 8 wins? Anybody going to go 3 wins?
Nope and nope.
Can I get 8? No. Can I get 8? 8, 8, 8, 8, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3? Anybody?
Nope.
Anybody? Going once, going twice, going.
I got 6. Very boring. But
yeah. Yeah.
They're not losing to Colorado. I'm not going to join Mike on that.
But yeah, see, I think like the game by game stuff, which is always kind of a interesting exercise to do because we don't really know what this is going to look like. I think that's going to vary because I've seen a lot of people. Well, there was a game that I continue to bring up where a lot of people have Nebraska losing as far as like the national pundits, even the ones that have them going to a bowl game. Hell, even Mark Schlabach had them going 7-5. Michigan State. People are worried about Michigan State. It's not as high on my radar as some people.
Nebraska will be bowl eligible by the time they go to Madison.
I'd agree.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
There you go. Put it on the board. My question back to Colorado, and prepare yourself if somehow, some way, Colorado wins at TCU at 11 a.m. on Saturday.
Oh man,
for what that's going to be like.
Geez.
Okay, because you also have to prepare yourself if it pops at CU, what that's going to be like. My question, and this is a serious question about Colorado, is Deion Sanders going to be able to stand the entire game?
I thought of that too.
I don't know if he could. I really don't know if he would be able to.
Shula once coached on a cart when he blew out his Achilles.
I can't after his surgery for blood clots.
Right.
I think that's got to be uncomfortable to stand for 3 hours.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because they're not going to let him be on the little Segway on the sidelines, right?
No. Well, maybe you can.
I don't know. I don't know that they would. I don't know if they would allow that. But is he going to be able to stand for 3 hours of a football game?
I don't think he could.
You know, his whole goal he's talked about is when Nebraska plays at Colorado, he wants to run out of the tunnel with Ralphie.
Yeah, I don't know if you could. I think it would be very, very hard for him to stand for 3 hours straight. Now, can you have like the little, the scooter? Not the Segway, but like, the little
rascal?
Yeah, not the rascal. But you know how like if you got the one boot or whatever.
With
the with the seat on it. I mean, would that alleviate? Can
Those
you
are nice.
exchange legs and just kind of?
What if
it's not very big?
What if there's a play coming towards you on the sidelines?
Oh yeah. See, that's the problem.
I don't know if that's been addressed yet, but I think that's probably
there's not a lot of room at
That's a
Folsom
concern
either.
for his safety and his health.
Yeah.
Can he stand for an entire game?
Yeah.
All right, Andy Kendi, he'll be standing and kneeling and sitting and doing all that stuff at Huntington Bank Stadium coming up on Thursday. But first, like KTV's blowing out their volleyball day and Nebraska coverage. I believe that probably at 4:30 tomorrow morning they'll have somebody live. They're like going to be there all day. They got this huge promo going. So we'll check in with AK coming up next.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com with Gary Sharp and Nick Handley. Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Let It Fly Sports Bar is your elevated sports bar experience. Located in the Capital District in downtown Omaha, experience Let It Fly's unique brand of hospitality with 2 floors, 2 bars, 2 expansive outdoor patios, and an in-house podcast studio with live broadcasts of the Let It Fly show, hosted by me, Michael Severe, and Josh Jones. Host your next watch party, private event, or date night right here at Let It Fly Sports Bar. Now open.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Celebrate Septemberfest Labor Day weekend outside the CHI Health Center, Lot B, September 1st through the 4th. There are games, carnival rides, and food. There's also clowns, a petting zoo, and a KCBS barbecue cook-off. Friday, there's Omaha Fight Club and epic music all weekend long. Monday, it's the Labor Day Parade through downtown Omaha at 10 a.m., along with the All-American Car Show with Andy Clark from American Graffiti. Septemberfest at the CHI Health Center, Lot D. Click SeptemberFestOmaha.org for times and parking info.
Watching a ball game at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is pretty awesome. Oscar's offers the MLB package, so your team is always on their upgraded audio-video system, and nothing is better than watching the game with a cold frosty one, Oscar's Pizza, or award-winning char-buffed wings. And with daily lunch and dinner specials, it's really a no-brainer. So get ready to watch your favorite team play ball at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road, and takeout at 162nd and Maple.
We created a simple PDF that gives you everything you need to know about branding, designing, and building a website that increases revenue. Download the website playbook for free at jmonline.com. If you're considering a website project but not sure who to hire, go to jmonline.com and download the free website playbook. It's a guide to a high-performing website. That's jmonline.com.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style.
When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call on the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
1620 The Zone. And we're back. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
No, we weren't doing that. Not to end the show.
Yeah, because Andy blew us off.
We
Just
mixed up the
kidding.
weeks.
That's our bad.
We
Kidding.
didn't.
What are you guys doing last week? Let's go.
I just thought maybe we got a special game week Andy Kendi. Since we had him last week, I thought, well, we get him again. That's just kind of what I thought because it's game week.
Now he's calling him
Yep,
back.
he's probably like,
going,
wait a minute. I
missed
thought
call."
I was going on next week.
Hey, put him on because I want to ask him about his new band. Okay.
The AKs?
Yeah. He's not a chance. All right.
Andy and the Mets.
Okay. So we're going to have to pay him extra. So when you send him a little cash, send, over there to.
We'll send him some hot tamales or some good and plenties.
You know what? I wasn't here last week. Things got out of hand, and we thought we were getting a double dose of you. Hey, I have a question real quick.
Yeah, boys. Good morning.
Hi. Hi, Andy.
I think with your, and it's unfortunate Ellie is leaving. She was really, really good, and she's on to bigger and better things. But then you replace her with another Matt. So it's Andy and two Matts. That'd be a great name for a band.
Yeah. Well, let's take this a step further. Before Ellie was there, remember, we had Andy, Matt, and Matt Lothrop. So I think there's an unwritten rule that when you hire a male sports person along with me in the department, you must be named Matt or Matthew. So there you have it.
I forgot about Mr. Lothrop. So, is that requirement? Like when you were interviewing for this position, and you just got besieged by a ton of tapes, probably.
Yeah. Filter. If your name isn't Matt, goodbye. Right to the circular bus. I mean, that was the way it goes. We didn't even bother looking at your tape.
Yeah.
If your name's not Matt, forget it.
Might be a budding star, and then nope, name's not Matt.
Here's the thing that we're going to have an issue with. So you got to get to know the new guy and what have you. And Matt Patilli will start in a week or so. And I don't know what we're going to need a nickname. So maybe we can put that out there for everybody for Matt, new Matt. Now I'm going with new Matt, old Matt, but old Matt is really kind of the middle Matt because the original Matt was Matt Lothrop. You know what I mean? So that's what we're dealing with. So yes.
What if there was an Andy?
Yeah, good news though. Forget it. No, there's one Andy. That's
okay.
That's all the sports department can handle. Believe you me, everybody will say that. But good for Ellie. I mean, I'm thrilled for her. She's going back, or she's going to Wisconsin. So I was able to. I tried to point her in the right directions on good dining spots in Titletown. So hopefully she'll. Hopefully one, they're still open, and I didn't put them out of business back in the day. But two, that I said you're going to need it.
Times I've been up to Green Bay, and I know that they've kind of developed the city. There are some really nice, like when you walk past the what's the arena that was next to Brown County that they built, not the Kohl Center,
the Rest
Center. So you walk down that street there at the end of that street, there's some really good bars I remember, like Packer bars, but then like some really nice places. Are those still there?
Yeah, Brett Favre used to have a steakhouse is still open, and it's and Favre Steakhouse is at the corner of Brett Favre Pass and Mike Holmgren Way.
That is great.
So, in fact, it's funny because it is. I've just Googled it. It says watch demolition on Brett Favre Steakhouse, and that was 3 years ago. So I guess it's no longer in business. But there's like Stadium View and Anduzzi's and a whole bunch of other places where I used to frequent back in the day. But there's also some new places that sprouted up. As you said, Jerry, that whole area has been developed into kind of like the whole new template of how to modernize or build an arena with mixed use, with shops and restaurants and bars and entertainment districts and housing and what have you. And it's interesting that the houses around Lambeau Field, people have gobbled up and they just use it as entertaining spots. That's their party house. That back up into, because people still park on the lawns up there and all that stuff. It's pretty amazing that you kind of go back in time, but yet they've really done a nice job with the upgrade over there. And you got to have that. It's going to be a good time. And obviously, to deal with an NFL team is a totally different thing. So Ellie's been awesome, and it seems like the day she started, but it's awesome that she's moving up.
Stadium View and Anduzzi are two I remember.
Yeah. Anduzzi's in both of those. Yeah. Stadium View is more old school.
I watch you almost every night, and I watch the gang in the morning when I get up. And I'm just going off the promo that is running. Are you guys going to be in Lincoln tomorrow for volleyball day from 4:30 A all the way through to 10:30?
That's my understanding. No, I won't be.
Ooh.
Get that straight. No. But I'm not going to be there at 4:30 a.m. But we will have some kind of KDTV representation from dawn until past dusk. No question.
Isn't that amazing?
It is it's just amazing, and the logistics. It has been. We've been in meetings and the whole bit, and we're from sports. It is it's so much bigger than just a sports story, as everybody knows. So that's why you see volleyball stories being peppered all over the news blocks. And tomorrow's going to be. I think from what I understand, we're sending 3 crews for the afternoon shift. So if being the traditional 2 to 10:30 shift or what have you. So we're going to have live presence, and it's kind of a juggling act because there are restrictions. You can only go live from 4 to 4:30, or up until 4:30, I should say, and then you can go live after the Wayne State Cardi match is over with. So we're hoping for a sweep, so that's done. And then the broadcast window begins at 6:30 that we have to be shut down. So it's an interesting deal, and how people are going to deal with live shots during a country music concert is going to be an interesting deal too. So it's fascinating to see how this thing is handled tomorrow.
All right, we appreciate you hopping on with us here on short notice and not on your regular turn. So we hope you come back next Tuesday. But what happens on Thursday night?
And funny because that's why I'm kind of banging away here. I've got to give a prediction for Sean Callahan and On 3. I do this thing every week where we pick, we do predictions, and I honestly, I think my first line is I wish I had Biff Tannen Sports Almanac because I have no idea. I have no clue. Do I think they're going to be better? Of course. Do I think their lines can match up with Minnesota? It's really amazing when you look at PJ Fleck and what he's been able to do at Minnesota and how consistent he's been. 9 wins the last 2 seasons, bowl wins the last 2 seasons. Say what you want about the guy. The guy can coach and gets his guys to buy in. I think it's going to happen for Nebraska, but it's going to be a slow progression. And as my wife tells my kids, guys, put your patient pants on because it's going to take a bit. It's going to take a minute.
I like that. Patience pants.
Your patience pants.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's for all of those soon-to-be parents out
Nick
there.
is stealing it.
Yeah,
I am going to use that. Patience pants.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, definitely. Good for the kids. Kids
Love
understand that.
All right. Safe travels. Enjoy your car ride with Tyler.
Thank you. Thanks, boys.
That's Andy Kennedy from KTV. All right, there you go. He probably looked at his phone and thought, "Oh, wait a minute, I was on last week. I'm a bye week guy."
There was the oh crap moment. Then he realized, wait a minute, no, I talked to those jerks last week. Not you, jerk. Me and Jimmy jerks. So then thought, well, maybe I'll do him a solid. Good for him. He called back and
the excitement over game 1.
Yeah. See, that's what I thought. Maybe you guys agreed on that yesterday and said, "Hey, let's have AK on because it's game week."
2 weeks ago because I'm mixed up, but it worked out between Ellie's last day and then the stuff going on. So it's nice
we got to hear the encouraging voice of Andy Kennedy.
All right, coming up next, we'll have the crossover with Mr. Happer and Mr. Odson
rocking the Acuna jersey.
Is that what he's got on?
Oh yeah,
he should.
Hey,
should I get a selfie with him?
No.
Hug.
Hey, you should go charge him.
I should. I will
Yeah.
go. I'll go up and just get a selfie.
I also brought him a gift, so I hope he enjoys that.
It's very nice
love
of
me
you.
long time.
It's very nice of you.
Matt Rule speaks within the hour. Will address what he can of the Avery Gilbert arrest that happened earlier this morning in Lincoln. Coming up tomorrow, Jay Moore starts his weekly appearance with us. Also, Randy Johnson with the Star Tribune in the City's one of the best sports pages in America. If you still read the newspaper, they got a great crew up there. Love those guys. So RJ will join us. Also, Adam Teicher, ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs season, and Brandon Vogel, who's got a new project Brandon is no longer with Hale Varsity, but him and Aaron Sorensen have a new deal that they're doing that we'll let him tell you more about tomorrow when he is on the show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in on a Tuesday. Another step closer to the kickoff. Volleyball day is tomorrow. Football on Thursday. How great does that sound? How great does it sound? Mornings with Sharp and Handley and Jimmy from 6 a to 10 right here on 1620 The Zone.